Hey, checka, boom. Hey, checka, boom. Hey, one second, everybody. Hey, put this in the Discord. Hey. Boom. Hey. Give everybody a minute to get in here if they wanted to hang out with me. Happy Sabbath, everyone. Blessed day. Blessed is the day. Well, it's not really the Sabbath, but you know. It's not the Sabbath, but I'll give y'all day. Janelle. Boom. So while I give everybody a chance to get up in here, I wanted to do a part 2 to my talk about Senor Pow. No disrespect, Jerome. I don't hate you. I don't think ill of you, sir. I just think like, bruh, like, come on, man. For real, man. Like, you can't. Oh, well, maybe you do, because you're in your educated walled garden, man. But well, we have to talk about Jerome's moves, and I forgot about while I was going through my list last week. I forgot about the Mav of Wallstreet. Y'all need to check out his channel. Just amazing information. I posted in the Discord a bunch of times. I'm always watching it, and I learn a lot. Between him and Jay Bravo, I learn a lot. You know, I've been able to swing this market a little bit, and it's cushioned some of this blow, man, because I'm telling you, this is hard, but this is what we had to do. Like, I don't think we get that. The Trail of Tears went from the ports of the waters and led all the way to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that is factual. So Black Wall Street is just us in our doing what we do, right? We get back into the economy of things. Like, let's get out of the hype and like, yeah, Black Wall Street. Like, okay, what does that really mean? Okay, it meant we had banks. It meant we had businesses. It meant we had an economy. Now, I'm not on no separatist rants, because at this point, all of us as a world entity are screwed, because the logistics of the piping of how our economy runs is kind of off kilter. I mean, I'm trying to be nice about it, because, you know, the algorithms. But I've also got to be pragmatic. Like, look, you've got to make payroll. As a business owner, you've got to make payroll. And in this flip of an economy, we're going from an economy that you could sit there and say, I could make $50,000. Well, the software gets better. Like, let's take Adobe. A piece of software I used to have. Oh, I still use, but this piece of software I was using back then. So let's say it was like Photoshop 3 or 4, like it's early stage, right, of Photoshop. And they're on like, well, they're now 22, but you know, that's the year. But in those early days, you had to airbrush everything, and I wasn't using a pen. I was using a regular rollerball mouse, which you had to clean out, open it up and clean it out, because the roller would get all messy and it'd be jerky, so it'd mess up your stuff. So then I moved over to like the laser mouse, and then that could help a little bit. So, and then I went to the pen, and I could airbrush it with the pen, and now I was able to get the behind the scenes. But we were using like the lasso tool to cut things out, and you spent an hour cutting a graphic out in Photoshop. And that's what people were paying for. You were paying for somebody to sit at a computer. And for, let's say I did a CD cover in Photoshop, I would easily spend, because I had to cut out the wrapper and do all the work. So like back in the day when you were looking at Master P's CD covers and all that, I was like, I want to learn how to do that. So I started figuring out how to do those kind of covers. And I just come up with my own style, and then I would do the covers for my homeboys, right? And then everything began to change. Like Photoshop got easier and easier, and then the jobs that the price tag that Photoshop, you could now, being a graphic designer, yeah, you could still make money, but now you had to make money doing more specific stuff. Now you had to go higher end. You had to begin to create these huge graphical landscapes. And my temperament, I just wanted to just do some fun stuff, be creative, but the level that you have to go in when you get into creative director, you have to move up in the graphic ladder. So it's not, now you just can't be a graphic designer. You've got to be a creative director, or you've got to be a producer of art, art producer. You got to be another title. And basically in all corporations, in every business you're going to run into, it's a bunch of damn titles. And those titles are what give you your price tag and determine your worth. So the hack I did when I got out of the military, a kid who barely could get through high school because my ADD was mean and just couldn't think straight. Like the school was boring. My life changed when I came back because I learned what I learned in the military as far as that we had computers. And we were sitting in a building, and those computers were connected, and we had this network. And my staff sergeant had put the bug in my head. Begin to start pivoting this direction. And as I always tell y'all, what I missed with not getting Microsoft at $5 a share was the birth of this revolution where any building on the planet could be turned into a business. Every building on the planet could be capitalized. And like you can write it off in your taxes. That's big, because think about it. A lot of people, a lot of countries are speculating on real estate just on price alone, and they're not looking at the core value of what happens when hardware goes into every single one of these boxes. We are already on the cusp of the Internet of Things. And you can see some of this weirdo-ish and what people are doing with the Airbnbs right now, where all these cameras, when you go on vacation, hold on one second. Boom, I have to go over here. Like when you go on vacation, they got cameras everywhere, and you got to be careful now. Airbnb. Like covering up door cameras or cameras in your rental. Horror stories taking over Twitter. Hidden cameras in Airbnbs. Police deny the claim. She found 10 cameras in a Philadelphia house. So you're already seeing, like, you have to be careful with everything you do or say everywhere you go, because you don't know where the mics are. There's actually some stuff that we're looking into for figuring out how to build devices that can kind of pick it out. Some of the things you can do is use infrared lights, turn off the light in the place that you're at, and use the infrared light and actually just flash the camera around, and it should reflect. But there's a bunch of YouTube videos y'all can look up for that. Make sure y'all smashing the like button because we got to get this information out to people. So anyway, after the military, once I came here, what I did, how I pivoted, how I got from not being able to barely get out of high school, going into the military because it's the only option I had, because I wasn't going to college. I was out of it. And then when I get back, I become a security guard, and then I start learning about these computers. The thing I said only nerds would want, nobody's going to have that in their home. Look at us now. We hold it in our hands every single day, talking to loved ones, whether we're FaceTiming or WhatsApping or Snapchatting or Facebooking, whatever the hell we're doing, we're all doing it on these devices. And communications was only, the communication is where we were, the communication age. The age of where communication was made so simple that you can have instant gratification to see anybody across the planet, for the most part, depending on if they have a great firewall. And that meant the destruction of a lot of physical places, or the need for people to go to a building. And they didn't plan for that. Or maybe they did. You know, this whole one agenda type beats. And this whole, you know, you will own nothing and like it type beats. Now, brothers in the chat, in the Discord, I'm not even gonna show the individual's name. If you're in the Musical Geniuses Discord, you've seen it in the cash lane. I'm not gonna promote the dude, but you've got people out here that are going to set us up as a people, and I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about everyone. Look, everyone in every field has someone trying to sell something. Look, I'm selling the subscriptions, but my subscription's on data, right? So when I say, yeah, we're creating Toxic Hustle Pro, I'm creating a data source where my business is gathering data so that I can navigate these waters, and I'll give y'all access, but it costs me money for bandwidth. So I've got to charge for that shit. Meantime, between time, if you want me to spend more hours on it, well, then that's going to let me know. That raises a hand that says, look, here's $9.99. And boom, I want to hear this data on a regular basis. But other than that, I will still do what I'm doing right now, because I don't care about the money, about that portion of it. I'm going to build a whole bunch of other stuff for services and products and presets for music. And I'm going to use vocal sound effects so you can take your voice and flip it into instruments so you can get more things out of your head. Like, I'm going to offer a whole bunch of value on the side of the $9.99 for a musician, because at the end of the day, I want y'all to become your own label and media entities. I don't need you underneath a label. Nobody needs labels anymore, and I'm not starting one. But at the same time, I'm telling y'all, hey, as we're pivoting right now, you need to kind of be your own bank. And somebody's going to use your tunes. And those tunes are going to generate some cash flow. And that cash flow can be put on a card because it goes into a bank account or PayPal or whatever. And you can swipe and you can eat. And at the end of the day, homeboy, that's all you need. It's day by day when you're in a recession. And I learned that the hard way 2007, 2008 in Macon, Georgia. Shouts out to Mike for when I got out of jail, I had a place to land and we could finish out their albums. That's how hard ish is. I lost my home. I was homeless. And I had people that Most High bless. I'm thankful to the Most High for like the people that like I was able to work with, because, you know, I wasn't charging, and I was making the beats, I was mixing the albums, I was mastering the albums, and I was making the CDs for them, and I was charging like little of nothing just to try to cover bills. Working out of an apartment. See, that's why I said the internet turns anything into a business. I could still write off stuff. I was still taking in cash flow. I was still writing up my taxes. Struggling hard as hell. And that was that quote unquote great recession. Well, guess what? We're going back through it, and it's going to be more pain, but they ain't got no solution to this. So there has to be a pivot, y'all. Look, there is always going to be an economy. Somebody's going to sell. Somebody's like, people took money and cashed out at the top. So they've got guap. Follow the path, right? Who's got the most cash flow right now is YouTube. So what do I tell you? Put your music on CD, baby, because you get free YouTube royalties. If you're on some damn platform, I don't care all you can eat, how many you can upload, and they're telling you every single YouTube freaking shit you're gonna have to pay for, jump the hell off ship. I don't work for CD, baby. But my music's been on there long enough for me to have done the research and me say, okay, you know what? Now that I've tested this long enough, I can say, y'all, just jump over there and go do that. Put your music over there because at least you're covered. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't have to pay no extra ish until they F it up. But you know what? By then, if they decide to be stupid and change up their business model, which I don't think they will, they don't have to. But they were the first ones to say, look, upload, here's your one price point, pay $30 damn, and we'll keep finding utility for your damn music. Okay, so now that you know I can broadcast right now, my music's on Facebook, which you know that means Instagram and whatever real estate they create. Boom. So that means every place Facebook owns digitally, you're making money. Why are you leaving money on the table? I'm just fighting for YouTube for y'all. Facebook ain't gonna die nowhere. Y'all already gave them too much data. They're the NSA's favorite little boy toy. So no. They ain't going nowhere. But TikTok out here too, and they paying. So go to the platform that gets you that revenue. Now, why am I telling you that? Because when you have that, your hustle's now changing. Rappers don't need the producer. They can just put their stuff out and earn. And then they can buy or make their own stuff, do whatever they want to do, beatbox their whole whatever. I don't care. You can make money out here making sound because they digitally signaturize it and now you get a percentile, right? So we're going into this digital revolution. We're getting out of this analog-ish and you don't need those major, but they're going to buy them up. So just understand right now there's an acquisition going on. Sony's buying up a bunch of ish. They bought up all the anime. Crunchyroll and Funimation. And you know they're around BeatStars sniffing. That's that publishing thing that they're working with. So all the BeatStars people got Sony breathing down their neck. So if you're looking to get close to Sony, boom, there's your entrance right there. My thing is I'm going to stay with CD Baby. I don't need them to distribute me like that. And I'm sure some big labels sniffing behind the scenes of CD Baby too, and I don't know about it, but I don't have time to worry about that. Once you now have a distribution where you can get your stuff wherever it needs to be, your next goal is, what do I do? How can I use it? Easy. I create now a YouTube site. Since I make YouTube, right? I can make a video clip site. Right now, I'm studying to see whether or not anything that's new on Google's, what I learned from SEO when you were working with Google is like Google creates this new thing or a new feature. And when they do this new feature, it becomes super overpowered. So what I'm going to do is the clips thing and the shorts thing are kind of the new for, because they're trying to bite off everything else. So cool. I don't hate the hustle. So now whenever you use it, it makes your channel hella overpowered for at least a while until it gets oversaturated and everybody's doing it. So what you have to do is come up with a format for clips and then get your clips out. So one of the things I'm going to do is come up with I'm trying to see whether or not I'm going to research using my automation platform. How can I automate a process to take clips I find out of my own content, get those timestamps, and then grab that data, make it into a short, energize the short somehow with like maybe getting transcript out of it and doing something with the text and seeing if I can automate this, because all these programs have APIs that can pull this off, right? So I'm going to see whether or not I can create an automated format that will take basically a YouTube, create a short, and take it and put it on a short site. Now I take my music and I put it behind the scenes of whatever that content is. So now I'm getting utility out of it. So every single time it plays, bang, royalties. And now I can make a short site that's based off of anything that's trending on the planet. I can do that for a YouTube channel and just make clips. Same. So it's coming up with things like that so you get utility out of it, but you create this engaging, you have to create engagement. At the end of the day, we have to either create an economy or watch it fall down. So I'm not going to sit there and worry about the end of the world because I know my people are way too smart for that. We have scientists. We have mathematicians. We have statistical analysts. We have business analysts. I'm not worried about this. We're fundamental people. We've never gotten anything easy. And every time something good happens, the world crushes out. And then we're the last people to see any real true benefit. So what we've always had to do is make do on our own. Just like every small town has to do, just like every small country has to do, every village had to do, every tribe had to do. So what do? You and the people around you create an economy. Tulsa back on, Tulsa on. Your music has to go somewhere because it has to be used on something. Go turn on your TV. You see a commercial out there that ain't got one lick of sound to it? I want you to understand that you have way more benefit, way more growth that's going to come from this whole struggle that's about to go down. Because while the world is still going to go through something, we have to hold out hope that we can push and persevere through this. This is where the best music comes out of. Music that fights through pain. This is also where revolutions are formed and when change can happen from the minds that inspire it. The same minds they wanted to keep worrying about guns and drugs and Molly's out of control. Well, now we've got to find something better to do with our mind. So this is a fight for your mind. It's a fight for your sanity. Because the things that you'll see, the things that you'll hear, we're going to talk about, they can drive you crazy. But at this end, we have to remember, while we put systems in place, systems change. And while we have empires that rise, empires fall. The thing is, though an empire falls, it never really disappears, right? Rome, you can still see Rome. Greece, you can still see Greece. Persia, you can still see Persia. You can still see the Mongolian Empire, the Tartarian, the Turkish, or Turk. You still see it all. They don't die, they transform. Everything changes form. So, America as it is about to change up, man, because it got no choice. The Ponzi's done. And we've got to shake it off. We've got to understand we've been in a huge Ponzi that we didn't even know about. And that's the F-ish on this. I'm frustrated. I'm just so frustrated because it's like they are lying, but we have to maintain our cool because rebellion does nothing. You tear down the building. So what? You destroy all the infrastructure. What the hell did that do? Does that solve the problem? No. Did we pivot? Look, these buildings are empty. Can we do something with it? Well, farmland is kind of getting messed up. Maybe we should start concentrating on how we can collect water. How do we use wind in a more resourceful way for small buildings and homes? Not so that we can try to power our homes. That's stupid because we ain't got that kind of flow right now. But to power smaller devices so we can make sure our internet and our grid is not so heavily reliant on the old architecture to maintain itself. We have to be smaller now. Single board computers, Raspberry Pi type beats. We're going from a centralized system to a decentralized system. But part of that is going to still have a central control. That's what they're doing with their central bank dollar coin. Right now, I'm thinking USDC is probably going to be closest to the public dollar that they'll allow. Because everybody else, they're shaking them out now. We're going to talk about that. They're shaking. The reason why this stable coin is shaking out is that these banks got enough credit and funds to shake out the smaller ones. And everybody who has too much leverage and too much debt is getting their ass handed to them. All right, let's get into it. So Jerome says he's not going to cause a recession. The Mav of Wallstreet was real specific. And I wanted to use some shots from some of his videos. From this one video that I posted in the Discord. The Federal Reserve is hiding something. So the macro data, softening retail sales fall for the first time this year, signaling a bigger bite from inflation. So retail sales. Abandoned mall hydroponics, immersive, damn right. Damn right. Here, we're starting to see grow farms coming in Georgia. So a lot of companies are now coming here because we're setting up for crypto. We already have crypto here. So like, BitPay is out here in Georgia. There's a lot of good crypto legislation. There's a good electro grid legislation that's happening. So I'm already looking at single board computers that can do transactions, smaller things like be able to send signals for be able to be one of these smaller machines that has a NAN on them and it's doing some of the stuff that I would have done in the cloud. So make a cloud system of these machines that are doing transactions for the system, but build them out. So it's the same thing as like crypto is a great idea. It's a great idea, but it has no practicality. We're putting software on these machines to do mathematical equations, to win the lotto, to be able to get some more Bitcoin. So basically, and then validate transactions. So it has a great purpose of validating transactions and having basically a database that everybody is watching. And if you don't try to shift the data and try to do what Ethereum did for an Ethereum Classic split when they, their DAO got hacked, if the ledger stays a ledger and the ordinances, we ain't never going to change this, then cool. What I try to show y'all is, while crypto is a dope idea, I'm always like, look, your ability to earn is more important. Because you can earn crypto, sure, but you can earn USD. You can also earn Euro. You can also earn, you know what I mean? I can work with people in the UK and I can go earn Euro. I'll go get Euro if I'm working with if I'm working with a MC who has music, he's using my beats and he's like, yo, I want to use your mixing services, right? I can give see what I'm doing? Like I can sit there, take my music, put it on CD Baby, cast it out. Boom, it's gone. Rappers get on it. I'm going to put ToxicHustle, put my services on ToxicHustle. What I'm going to do is make it into a marketplace for services. That's part of Pro. So like, I'm going to put myself on it. I'm the test dummy. I'm going to be the test dummy. We're going to transparently try to create an economy. I'm going to put a site up. I'm using Bubble for it because they'll actually invest. I'm using databases outside of its system so that I can have this other automated system micromanage what's going on with the data behind the scenes. And in the future, using API, we can put it on chain and boom. Now we have assets, not just being used in the public world, not only just being able to create projects and make mixes. I want to be able to even see mixing engineers get royalties. Like with something like this, with being able to create a ledger, with the ledger of where the royalties and how much is being earned, that way you get a split of the pie for mixing and mastering for the rest of your life. Why not? If we cut out all the 20% we got to give to a bunch of big heads, oligarchians at the top of this food pyramid that is getting there, it's like a big baby a small baby with a big head and little feet. And everybody's wondering why the baby keep falling. And I'm not talking about your little big head baby. And you know who you is. So we've got to flip it up now. We've got to change up everything. So now if we're looking at the screen, you see the retail sales have been falling on our asses. Right? Sizzling inflation is raising the cost of 4th of July barbecues. Now we're in my fiance is in the food industry and she's literally cooking all the time. And she's getting food for her clients because we deliver straight to the house now. So instead of her opening up a restaurant, now we're doing direct from kitchen to home. Direct to the door, right? Kitchen to door. And that's the services that's rolling out. One of the clients I want to work with is to market the services using her. I'm going to be marketing her and broadcasting her. And that's where a lot of the music I got to make is going to. So what I'm talking about utility, when I tell you get utility, work with a client. If you're into video, create video, take your music, put it to the video and help a client out. You can do that in your local neighborhood. You don't have to charge much, right? So people need help. Like look at your pizza shops, look at your places that you eat locally at, right? Those are your clients. You got to start where the house at. I'm trying to make it practical. Like this is how I eat. So right now in our industry, what we notice is quarter after quarter after quarter, the price hike in beef alone. It's like to the point where do you want to put beef on the menu? Because she flexes out our menu. And you're trying to I'm now going to try to use market data to try to find the best times I'm treating it just like the commodities trade now. That's crazy. It just hit me. I'm like, damn, I'm building this software so that I can say, okay, this is probably a good time for her to buy some beef. It's kind of low. So maybe she can put that on the menu now. Right. So it's like, hey, beef is going to be swinging down in a couple of weeks, probably. So get ready. And when it comes down, then boom, you can jump back in there. Or, hey, you're going to have a spike. Like right now, we have a spike in poultry from what's going on with chickens. So it's like, okay, what can we do? What other kind of animal is a little bit cheaper and we can put on the menu? Like what kind of fish? Is there something new kind of fish or maybe you do crawfish something? You got to start trying to be inventive. Because you don't want to keep passing expense to your clients. And they're not going out anymore because they're not satisfied with the food and the service. The service is like, y'all don't pay me enough. So it's like it's a rolling effect that we're going through as we're going into stagflation. Former Coinbase employees found out that they'd lost their job on Twitter. Others when they couldn't log onto their laptops. I've had this happen before. Not as far as laid off like this, but just basically get a phone call, bring in your laptop. Because I've been in the corporate world for a while. My hustle has always been, while I'm a rapper, while I'm a producer, I didn't want to subjugate my music or just make my music, but like I charge this much. And I, it's hard to tell somebody who's not earning anything yet that, look, this is how much my services are. So what I wanted to do was find a way to get to a point where my services wouldn't cost so much so I could work with who I wanted to work with. What we're noticing, and what I noticed when I was working at the private bank, Citibank Private Bank, was the first thing you see is in the financial sectors, you're going to see unemployment. They're going to see layoffs. And we're going to get into like how to do your search terms to start looking at layoff numbers. Google searches are pretty big. You can use Google Trends. We're going to go into that in a bit. This is the U.S. personal savings rate, and next to it is the U.S. consumer credit year-over-year change. And as you can see, as interest rates over here, consumer credit, not interest rates. As you see, you got your first stimulus check, your second stimulus check, the third stimulus check, right? Then, if you notice, as those checks went in, right around the same time, all this consumer credit got paid off. So everybody used these checks and got out of credit. Then, boom, as their bank accounts kept falling, all of a sudden, boom, and this is when everybody's doing Christmas. There's going to be a Christmas rally. I'm in November like, yo, something's wrong. Bitcoin ain't hit 100,000. That ain't right. That's not right. There's something wrong. And that's when I did that economy video. Like, yo, I'm starting to study the economy because something's wrong. Bitcoin's not playing right. It didn't hit 100K, and I'm still waiting on it. And it's like, I kept saying last year, if you watch the videos in July, I was like, last week of November, first week of December, I'm out. Because that should have been when the spike was. But by November, it stopped playing. It started playing weird. And it wasn't hitting the certain high. Like, I think it was September and October. It wasn't hitting the highs it was supposed to be. Like, yo, this is off. We're not hitting. We don't have max. Like, we don't have enough cash. Like, there was not enough surge. I didn't understand that there wasn't enough cash yet. I just didn't understand, like, yo, there's not enough surge. Something's off. But by November, I knew something was wrong with the economy. That I knew. But now what you can see is everybody was starting to go on credit. They were starting to leverage up. And some of this leverage went into the market as well. Because there was like, you know what? Those losses, this Christmas rally, people still put it back in the market. So I had been watching and I've been listening all summer, and all I kept seeing was every single time the checks got in, the stock market also did a slight little bump. It started surging, but over time, the market kept rallying and rallying and rallying. So after a check, bump a little bit, and then as it got in, a rally and it just kept circulating in. People, it would be paid, used to be paid for bills. A business owner would take some money out. That business owner is also an investor, so he's taking some of his earnings from that and put it right back into the market, or he's giving it to his banker, and that banker's take a fund manager, and that fund manager is putting it into the market and putting it in the S&P 500, making it real simple. And that's why I've been betting against the S&P 500. So what we've done is checks went in, paid our credit. After we paid our credit and we ran out of check, and we don't have as much jobs in business, and automation is taking up a lot of our slack. Boom. Now all of a sudden we're on credit card while we're trying to find the next job, or we have to re-educate ourselves. It's not a recession, it's worse. Misery index. This is evidently an index they used to have. And during these indexes is basically where you had a recession. And, you know, as the index spikes, you got a recession. So spike, spike. So evidently we're in for a recession. We already know we're in a recession. You can feel it. Now what we're waiting for is the markets to slow down. So what they're trying to, what we have right now, wages going up, spending, credit, spending, wage. They're waiting about a wage spiral. Stocks are going down, real estate's going down, but rates are going up and unemployment's going up, and that's a huge problem. We're going to see our entire system begin to, again, show these cracks, even deeper cracks than what we've already seen. Market bears should take note that Powell will stop inflation by any means. Again, what we talked about before with the Fed speak. When the Fed says something, it's their actions. Their actions are what we have to watch. So they're already putting the stamp on inflation. We've already seen that in the market. The stock market has reverberatedly gotten its smacked, right? Gotten schmidacked. Rick James, right? Now what are we going to do? If your analog is dying, if all we have is a what? Communication network, then evidently it seems like since our physical is no longer has any, like we can't go to a job or go into a building. Some of these buildings are empty. Some of these corporate buildings, not even just malls, but corporate buildings are empty. Look at what happened with WeWork. They dumped a bunch of money trying to expand into this office space and it failed. That's commercial real estate that's doing nothing for an idea that didn't work. That billions were thrown at. If y'all can, though, hold on. There's a channel I've been kind of watching. Hold on. I think it's Wall. Hold on. It's on YouTube. I think it's the Wall Street Millennial. Yeah, Wall Street Millennial. Yep, this is it. Really, dude? Didn't need all that. On his videos, he talked about Celsius and what's going on with Celsius. Where is it? He talked about this guy that bet a whole bunch of stuff and it failed. Boom, boom, boom. What this guy did at SoftBank and what he spent on. This is the WeWork one. This is it. This is the guy that spent billions, got even an Arab sheik in on this deal, right? Got an Arab sheik to put, but had a bad deal on how much he had. Like basically the sheik had a better deal to make sure he'd get his money back. But this guy got billions of dollars and he had to throw money at it. So he threw it into basically corporate real estate, which was that WeWork thing, which is just basically a real estate business. But what happens if people didn't need physical locations anymore? See, they were betting on, and this was right for a time when I was in the venture capital world. I was in a startup here in Georgia, and the startup was beginning to fail. We were starting to lose clientele, and I was like, I don't even know if we're going to have a job anymore, because one of the clients had forgot to cancel, and we're under contract because it's a high-end sticker price. We're talking like 100,000, 100K up type beats, like to walk in the door. So you're like, this software is for like back-end hardware server stuff. So the client has just forgot that he was under contract and a bill just showed up and he's like, well, damn, I got to pay it because I don't want to get sued. Big up RTP. Right. So this happens. And I'm like, when I hear about this, now I'm just a web developer for them. I'm just doing WordPress sites for them. Right. And I'm like, yo, you mean to tell me my salary is for this next year that's coming up just came. So my check is because somebody forgot that he's on the contract for another year. That doesn't make me like, and we're not getting any new clients and everything's slowing down. And I'm like, yo, and he's still trying to get venture capital money. So you can be in one of these places where they're so leveraged on debt. I've felt it. I've been in it. I'm innately telling you, we had a recession in 2016 and nobody knows it. It's not as big. But literally in the venture capital world, all of a sudden the life got sucked out of the room in 2015. It's like the life got sucked out of it. And I was like, yo, everything dried up. And I was like, yo, I told my now fiance, I was like, yo, I don't think I'm gonna have a job next year. Then bang, lost my job. So a lot of money, y'all, has been thrown into this market on speculation for people going into these smaller workplaces. So what we did, we had a building that we had rented. So we rented this whole building, and then he was like, we got to make cuts, right? Because he's looking for venture capital money. He can't get it. So we made cuts. And where did we go? We went to one of these WeWork things. So we jump and do the WeWork thing. Then I'm like, well, he's like, well, you ain't got to come in all the time. What you can do is work remote. So I'm like, okay. So now I went from we have a building to we visit the building. Well, we have to visit the building every day to that costs too much. And they're like, no, we're not going to price it out that way. You got to come once a week to, no, we'll just work remote to, hey, we're letting everybody go. Now, this is 2016, y'all. And they barely made cash flow. I literally had to threaten them. Because I'm like, yo, where's my money? Because I got to pay my bills. You just screwed me. You didn't even give me a month's notice. But they didn't have a month. And a lot of these corporations, y'all don't understand. They've been living on debt. And that's what I learned in November. That these companies are vampire companies. They are so leveraged on debt, but they're on revolving debt. What happens with interest rates when they go up to revolving debt? Don't the interest rate on prime go up with it? Kind of 2%. Like, so if you go up some basis points, it goes up some points too. So now to cover that debt, what do you have to do as a business? You've got to let go of someone to pay the increase of now what you have to pay monthly for your debt. And at some point, you don't have nobody else to fire. You then have to downsize buildings, sell assets. So gold, silver ain't safe. Bitcoin ain't safe either. Y'all saw with my last video, I see Bitcoin hitting down to like numbers I don't really want to say is satisfactory for folks, but we're talking 11,000, 7,000 Bitcoin. But again, Bitcoin is just software. So if you understand that it's just a database that like Oracle, it's just a financial database and the financial institutions are interested in it now. And they already own the mining companies and they already have their share, what is it called? Accredited investor websites to be able to buy into these companies already. So y'all, they're already locked. And a lot of this is coming through Circle, which has USDC, and they can onboard accredited investors for them. But if you go to this website, you see how many failures, how much money's been blown. And we haven't even dealt with what's going on in the Great Wall of China. All those, buildings that are kind of like, what are you going to do with them? Like, you can't put people in them. That's material. That's wasted. This is what we're dealing with, y'all. This is the crap we're dealing with. We've got malls all over the place. Let's keep building malls. Why? Nobody's going out to physical places. They stopped that back with like Kmart. Are you serious? Hold on. I need to check. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure that is what I think it is. Yep. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me a second. All right, sorry y'all, I'm back. Got a family member in town, just want to make sure they got set up all right. Okay, so like I said, this is where all this money's been wasted. So now let's get into Bitcoin. Let's do it. I want y'all to understand that this is crypto winter. Crypto winter sucks. Sucks. It sucks big time. I need stock data. Yeah. And close that out. I forgot to open this up. Hold on, y'all. There we go. Gotta have the Scarface of the Federal Reserve cocaine revenue that he's been slinging. The cocaine is the printing of cash flow that flooded our economy. You know, we were stagnant for 2 years. We got to understand that. Our revenue, our commerce is based off human energy, labor. It's either we're manufacturing things or we're at war and we're getting assets or whatever, right? So they went to war to try to get leverage to get assets or to whatever, instead of manufacturing, because they gave up the manufacturing gig to give it to somebody else because they wanted to be the reserve currency. You can't be both. You can't be the manufacturing hub and be the printer of the dollar. So Bitcoin as a software is basically the canary in the coal mine on monetary spending. It was built or coded, dropped off into the universe as a warning to the spending of the Fed. This is the Fed trigger. If you want to see speculation, where is the first place that somebody who doesn't want to work with stocks and all that old ways of doing things, they find a new on-ramp for their own money. So they began speculating this thing. Whatever. Wampoon used to be money. Native Americans. Right? Wampoon was money. So if Wampoon was money, all right, well, this could be in the future money, because either that or it's your reserve money right now, which is being printed out of existence. Please do not forget, they got this debt clock on our ass. The U.S. national, they got a world debt clock. So please believe the central government's got us per taxpayer. $242,000. Do you got that in your bank account? What's in your wallet? And I got to figure out what's the difference between a taxpayer and a citizen. Because a citizen, damn, citizens ain't paying. Yeah. How do I become a citizen? Because there's evidently a definition change right there. I got to start understanding. I got to get back into those legal books and find out what the hell I am. I guess I'm just a taxpayer, because I need some citizen money. Can I get an amen? So, seasons of Bitcoin. There's a pattern to the system. The system, what I found out, if you look at Bitcoin, and what I have here is the Bitcoin and the US dollar. US dollar is them cashing out, right? So that's somebody going from Bitcoin into fiat. So not using USDC, a stable coin, but going into fiat. They're cashing out, like they're done, right? They're not going to put it on another coin because they don't use USD as a trading pair as much, right? So it's only for like major things. So this trading pair is a fiat trading pair. There's a little bit more of a tax burden on this one. So this is a fear. For me, what I realized with this, and nobody's will tell you this. Hold on, my dogs. Hold on. No, they didn't bark. Cool. What you see with the US dollar, with USD, this is my fear index, and nobody's going to tell you this. And this is on GDAX, which is Coinbase. So think about it this way. Coinbase, one of the largest, right? This has the longest pattern of people cashing the heck out of Bitcoin and getting out. So this is my fear index. What I started noticing, and why I call it that, what I started noticing is that seasonally, right around certain things, same pattern would happen. And it's cyclical. Here, I'll show you. What is this? That's January. If you're some investors, what they'll do is they'll go ahead and take their tax burden and do their taxes in January so that, they're going to cash out. And that year, now they're doing all their transactions take that big hit. And now that's it. They've done their big transaction at the beginning of that year. And some of that transaction will roll over to an IRA. And then they can put it into put that stuff into an IRA, and they can stack that for future revenue. But that's tax free. So that's a good way to pass off the taxes, is to say cash out, put it in an IRA, and bang, hey, Mr. Government, I didn't take that. I put it in an IRA. It's away from me. So they'll do it in January. So that's why I tell y'all, January, you got a big dip that comes, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to stash some for an IRA and get it tax free. I ain't got to touch it till my retirement. By then, you're going to charge me I'm going to be on a different tax bracket. Because why? By the time I'm retiring, I'm not going to be me no more. Most of my assets are going to be in a trust, and my ass is going to look like I'm broke. And I got to at least make sure I do that within 5 years of my retirement. Or 7 years, because my stuff's got to disappear. I've got to stop making 80, 90. And actually what I'm doing now is getting my trust ready. And instead of waiting till I make a crap load of money, I ain't got that, sir. That's over there. And then what I do, I manage my trust. My trust is a bank account. My bank account gets a robot, and I trade on it like I do with my personal one. But then I put it behind an IRA trading account. And now I'm trading trade free, but I'm not doing like big major trades. I'll do a small trading account and hook that to that account, and they'll have be a market maker and make the percentages I make when we're going through a decent cycle. I've cashed out of my shorts positions, and I did pretty well. We'll talk about that later. But if you can see, that's January. Then you've got March. What happens in April? April 15th. That's tax time. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take some money out in March to prepare my taxes. I got to pay the accountant. See? So then what happens here? This is June. What happens in June? We got vacations, y'all. I'm feeling crypto rich. I'm going to go use some of my crypto, and I'm going to go spend it. Now, not on this time, because we're getting ready to go to a halving cycle, which you see that's right here. So this changes. This is actually potentially a signal, because these are supposed to be dips, but it didn't happen. But this, when you're in a bull market, this is vacation, July. Again, 4th of July, barbecue, vacation. I want to feel crypto rich. People bragging about their crypto. Bow, July. Then what do we got? November. What's November? Oh, no, excuse me, not November. September. Excuse me. You got your September. September is back to school. So where was this done? Most of the mining, crypto mining, on computers, right? In dorm rooms. Computers, that's college campuses. So kids are taking their money that they got over their summer holidays, and they got their computers, and they're back to school sales. What's November? November's Black Friday deals. I'm making it real simple, because look, the patterns stay the same, except it goes weirdo right before or after a halving cycle. This is right here. This is why I said your next halving cycle is 2024, y'all. This is what it looks like when crypto winter sets in. When nobody was talking, like all these people talking about crypto winter, I'm one of the first persons to talk about crypto winter, because I'm like, this is what I was showing. I was like, yo, look at this. Look at this trough of time that nothing happened. If you go back, this is that this is like go back the first cycle. Here's the next cycle. Whoosh. Right? So here's where I came in. It ran up, and then it crashed. And then it just lulls and lulls. And then this halving cycle comes up, and whoosh, there you go. And these patterns play out. Then January comes, like December, you may have a December dip, which I'll show you in one of the other charts. And December dip is what we talked about, is taking losses at the end of the year, right? So now let's go deal with Bitcoin right now. The new seasons of Bitcoin that I have over here. We did this started really working with this beginning of this year because I wanted to start getting this done. So check this out. We've been following the pattern. You saw that November dip. And I tell you, the November dip is mean because, hey, people are cashing out. Then there's fear that gets involved. And plus you're at the end of the halving cycle. And then the miners start turning off their equipment because, hey, it's not profitable to me for all this energy that I'm expending. So I'm going to turn off my old machines because they're not as profitable anymore and keep my newer ones on and run it through crypto winter. As they begin turning off their machines, they start turning them off when they start breaking some of these levels. And then you're going to go into the lull, which we're going into right now. So I've already marked off some more dips as I've done before. These are the ones I was calling before. And we've got more coming. And here we've got more pain. There's a July. These are a couple July dips that I'm trying to signal to see if they're going to show up. These two kind of did. So I'm trying to see if these do. And of course, we've got that November dip. Here's the December dip, which is correlated to the one we saw last December, which was profit taking. And then there's that January dip. So again, these are your three birds of destruction. And these are just some stones to see where we're going to go down here. So again, when I say we may see some more pain, again, if I can try to get this as close as possible to here, there we go. And now we have our purple lines. When we break some purple lines, we go down, right? And we're going down to right here. That'll be 13,000. Then we still have here, 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 and here, and the big sucker right now, right? So, I mean, y'all, and this is what we'll do. Like, if we go to the monthly, I want you to see how much data we don't have. And that's what I mean by shaky. Like, shaky. There's not much data. You see what I mean? There's not much data here. We don't have we've never touched back down here to get support on a monthly. And I never thought I thought this would go up, 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 but I also began to learn to swing it because I went through crypto winter where 2017 to 2018 back here, when we went through this spike, and then when we crashed down, and I basically, I held on to my crypto and was like, well, what am I going to do with it now? Just hold on to it and wait for the next halving cycles. I knew there was another one coming. So, but you have to sit through this long period of time where you're thinking here that July of the following year, that, like next July, right? Yeah, next July. Yep, next July, they're going to think that there's going to be some super run up because it came from down here. But that's people going to be fooled because it's going to go right back down. Again, November dip. And then January, it kind of pumped, but again, you see where we're sitting right before a halving cycle. Things start acting a little weird during a halving cycle. So, boom, spikes up. We drop down. We never hit where we're supposed to hit. Now, Bitcoin. If you look at the weekly, look at how much data we have. Again, it doesn't, see what I'm saying? Here, we still only had this one little thing. That's not enough support. Again, not enough support. We go back to the monthly. Let's just see what the monthly is telling us. It's telling us 11,000. It has to hold at 11,000. And that is potentially where I might enter. Why? Because really, after that, we're then saying Bitcoin's a 7,000 thing, which it may want to go ahead and go all the way back down there for full support. Because remember, again, we have, back to the weekly. And that's why I said, I don't know. As long as we remember that this is here, that this November dip is right, and not only just the November. Hold on, because let's not forget about this bad boy right here, the January one, because these two really are the two specters that you got to deal with. Wherever we are, you're gonna have to look at this and then see if it's gonna end up breaking this line. So like if you're here, if we're here, by the time we get there, great. We only break down to here. But if we trip through these and end up down here at say 11,000 by the time we get here, then no. You're going down to 7,000. And then you're going down further if we're talking about January. And then you still got dips after that. Because look, see, January, you still got January. That one didn't happen. But this one did. That one did. That one did. That one did. That one did. So you still have some, but you're at the start of you're still at the end of a cycle. You know what I'm saying? You're still at the end of a cycle. You don't have another cycle till 2024. The halving cycle won't be here in 2023. So 2023 is still going to be cold. And that's also where they're talking about stocks not playing right. Now, y'all, I told y'all I'm in my shorts. Pause. When it comes to, I'm shorting the Russell 2000 with the TZA because it's an inverse ETF. I don't suggest anybody get in until they study and figure out how to use it. I don't have time to tell everybody about that. There's plenty of people in there. Johnny Bravo talks about it a lot. Go do tutorials on YouTube about inverse ETFs, but it's an alternative. It goes the opposite side of where this goes. And then I have the S&P 500. Let's go back. It's on the weekly. And then I use the SQQ on the weekly, please. Right? So it swings up, and you can see we're heading into potentially a bull cycle here. If you're looking at it on the SQQ side, if you're looking at the S&P side, you're falling off a cliff. We're falling off a cliff because I do have S&P assets, unfortunately, on my mama side. But look here. If we go on the daily, and I know I have a lot of stuff, and I apologize, but under the 200, just like Bitcoin, under the 200, under the 100, and falling. Had a sell signal back here in April, and it's just been falling, and we haven't gotten a buy signal yet. So we do see one spike here, and that spike, like this spike, is here. So we do see a spike, but we'll have to wait till see what's going on Monday. Especially with how Bitcoin's been playing all weekend. It's been playing, to the downside and to the upside and to the downside. So we've had a spike like yesterday. Let me see. Go back to the day. See? We're fighting on a monthly line. And we're, you see what's happening. Like, let's get close to it. We're fighting and we're falling underneath. Now, also, is it here that it's happening? Y'all. Okay, next week is huge. Or is it today? No, this is today's week. No, so next week is huge. If we close next week underneath this, prepare to fall off a cliff. So this has to hold next week on the weekly. Bitcoin has to hold next week. Because if it falls underneath this, it's falling off a cliff. But y'all remember something. Okay? Even if it thinks it can do it, like even if we get hopeful, and this is on the week, even if the next few weeks get hopeful, remember that line is over time. It's not going to shoot up like this or shoot out. It's going to curve slowly. And we still got 1, 2, 3 landmines to go through. Y'all, again, if we break this purple, we're going down to this. We're going to 13. So just be prepared, just be prepared. And that's going to do a lot of wiping out of more assets, people that have been taking money, hedge funds or speculative people that have been working with hedge funds in the back end, and all of that speculative crap is getting crushed out with what's going on. Margin is also falling like a stone. People are getting out of margin now or getting margin called. And one of the things we're gonna start seeing as these stable coins have been going and getting real shaky, because these algorithmic ones, y'all, there's a bunch of them. This ain't over yet. And the whole DeFi thing is based on Bitcoin staying up, y'all. I'm not just telling you about Bitcoin and whether or not the price action affects whether or not what we're dealing with is okay, or how long is the pain for Bitcoin that on the coins we purchase. No. I want you to understand that we're about to collapse a whole bunch of financial situations. People put money, their life savings, into stable coins. Algorithmic ones that had no real peg. Again, derivative magic money. No. 1 for 1, please. If you're not doing 1 for 1, if you're doing spooky stuff with the money, I can't deal with you. Now, there's something on the horizon with Tether that keeps messing with me. Again, remember, a lot of Tether's money was locked up in corporate paper. And they want to say that corporate paper has nothing to do with China real estate. But how did China's real estate actually have financial value? How was it being stable? Like they had to get more money than Mungers. It had to get more money than, I mean, I know they made a lot of money coming in for all the services and that's coming in, but I don't know if everybody got the money the same. And we were building out a whole lot of stuff out there. The whole bunch of real estate was getting, the people had enough money to take that money and put it into these real estate companies to push these buildings to the sky that had nobody in them. What happens on Bitcoin when Bitcoin's price goes further down and people's more margin calls happen on the DeFi, where people that have taken a loan, taken that loan, put it on another platform to get more earnings, then taking that earnings to put it on another platform to earn more earnings. Trying to use capital, but that's if your market can keep going up. If you can't if the asset falls by 80%, your margins are getting called. And what we're watching right now is the calling of the margin call lambs. The silence of the margin call lambs. Because like Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, you can see who's swimming naked. And naked means who has all of this naked debt that now it's come to light, you can't swim against the tsunami of it and your business goes bankrupt. This is where most of these guys are going to go bankrupt. And that's a lot of jobs lost. That's a lot of pain. Unemployment is anywhere between 12, 15 weeks or whatever. Then you fall off the rolls and you disappear like I did in 2016. Now, when you're dealing with all that, when you're dealing with loss, like I did in 2017, I lost money in the Bitcoin market. My girl had put $3,000 in, she had put money into Bitcoin when it was at $3,000. And then at 11,000, sorry. Yeah, she had seen it when it was at $11,000. And then if you look at the chart, which would be right around here, she had bought it in January or something like that, right? Yeah, January. And we were right around the 11,000 mark, right around there. And then all of a sudden it falls off a cliff and goes all the way down to, 6,000? I was like, babe, you don't sell it. You hold it. It'll go back up. But from what I'm seeing from the data, it's going to be a while before it comes back. But it will go back above it. The pain that you deal with I was watching my assets fall. And of course I'm not employed. And then I'm working for my now fiance. get helping her get her business running, because I had just helped her get started with her company. So I told her go do you. I got you. I got a job. Let's do this. You're not happy. They ain't treating you right. Let's go. But then I lose my job. And then I got to work for her. But then while I'm working for her, you know what? The Most High was doing it for a reason, because I was working. She was doing business to business. We were in these corporate buildings, right? So here I am back in these corporate buildings, these WeWorks again, but now I'm serving food. And I'm now seeing these buildings are empty. And then we're going into these corporate buildings because they were getting rid of Sodexo. Sodexo is one of the food services that were all over in these buildings in Manhattan. They're like all over internationally. They staff a lot of corporate buildings, and I think they even do some military installations. They were getting booted out by these new startups that had software, and they were like, hey, we'll go in and we'll bring in our chefs or whatever. So we were in these buildings, and then we're the management there and other food vendors that were built in there, like they had the major, let's say you had a restaurant. Well, the restaurant owner would be in there, and he was telling us how much they tell you you're getting today, and we'd be like, they said 70, and they were like, yeah, no, this building is empty. And I'm like, yo, the building is empty. He's like, yeah, that we don't, like, more and more companies are leaving. So again, this is 2017, 2017. This is 2017, 2018. And then 2019, I start working for a real estate wealth person. I left her company because I was like, yo, babe, this thing is shutting down. I'm going to pivot. It was an influencer, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this influencer marketing. I'm going to try to see if I can get on the back end to work with him and get his stuff going. And then maybe I can get some funding. If I can get my salary the way I want, then that's my funding. Like I told you, get a job. That's basically your funding. That'll be my funding. I'll do whatever I need to do to work with him. But then I'll be in his ear saying, hey, I'm working on this automation program. And if you're interested, hey, I can do something with you. We can make some money. Hey, let's come up with a service. The service I'm building now. So this is, again, crypto winter's full swing still, because, you can see here, the halving cycle doesn't come till 2020. So when you're in crypto winter, you're looking for work. You're getting, like, I was doing contract jobs. I had one of my bosses who was the director of the startup that we were at. He opened up and started a venture capital firm. And then I was doing the graphics and the websites. And that's why I tell y'all, software is important. Like Photoshop. Like, these corporate softwares are there for a reason. And yes, it's a subscription, but you write it off. It's a business. Photoshop has kept me in work. Adobe products have kept me in work. Even Dreamweaver, sometimes I still use it to mock up some things that I have an idea and I can just kind of quickly mock it up because I still know how to use it. And I can get my CSS out of it and I can use that for other things. After Effects, I can't tell you how many music videos I'm going to be like the special effects I'm going to be doing out of that and text blowing up or whatever until I can get that proficient with 3D. But After Effects and Premiere have been lifelines, and there are plenty of jobs on the market that are looking for those skill sets. And what you can do is use your talents locally, work with your local artists. These guys need music videos. Like I told y'all before, have them film it so that way you ain't got to worry about your equipment. Look, wolves is going to be hunting. So you got to be careful out here. Like one of my homeboys was out, his friend, one of his childhood friends was back in 2007, 2008 doing music videos with all of his film equipment. And one day he got robbed. This is his car got robbed. They knew the car he drove in, and he went to a hotel and then or something, and then he got robbed. You know what I'm saying? Or they stuck him. I can't remember. So I really can't lie on that. But regardless, wolves will hunt. So how do you bypass that? Because business is business. You got to still do business. Look, and it might not be the artist. You don't know who they are around, right? So what you got to do? Boom, take the footage and get the footage from them. Tell them, film it with your camera and send and upload it. Right? They can upload it to Google Drive and send that over to you. And then you edit it through your After Effects and Premiere and have them Cash App you. If you do $50 a video, if that's what you want to do, then half and half. Half, and I'll start the project. And at the end of, I'll give you the final version with no watermark and all that stuff and a higher resolution. I'll give you that once you pay me the rest of it through Cash App. And there's your cash flow. That went to that goes to a debit card, and that debit card you swipe and you can get Church's chicken. I mean, don't get Church's chicken. Go get some beans and rice. But that's what I had to do at the time after I had gotten arrested. And again, the economy, I didn't know the economy was falling around. I wasn't even watching CNBC at the time. But I did see this thing called Second Life begin to bubble out. Right? So you just got to see opportunities where maybe even a small little bit of cash flow, like digital commerce is still digital commerce. Even if it's a zip file that you're selling, or even if it's an ebook that you're selling, even if it's a CD cover, a $25 CD cover, spending like an hour designing a CD cover, or just cutting somebody out of some stuff and designing it and then charging them $25. Do a couple of those a week or a couple of those a day. You've got to live. Well, some people live paycheck to paycheck, but on the street, we got to live meal to meal. We got to break it down, especially in a recession. We can't live like Caesar and Rome no more. They're at the apex where all they want to do is have the Colosseum going. They want to, serve them milk and, and wine. Serve them bread and wine. Keep them drunk and fed. But the problem is that, farmland has been kind of busted right now. Let me close out the economic stuff because we're going to have to deal with agriculture. I'm going to close out Mav of Wallstreet too. And I'll keep that open. Oops, hold on. California farmers in the news because California has ordered their farms and cities to stop pumping water through the drought. Now, I want y'all to see something because this is important. What is the... Oops. Okay, see, California's agricultural abundance includes more than 400 commodities. Over a third of the country's vegetables, 2/3 of the country's fruits and nuts are grown in California. Top 10 valued commodities for 2020 crop year are dairy products, milk at $7.47 billion lost, y'all. Almonds, 5.2. Are you serious? Hold on. We're going to the .gov site. Let's go to the .gov. California, tell us. All right. So dairy products, milk, 7.7 billion. Almonds, 5.62 billion. Grapes, 4.48 billion. Pistachios, and pistachios cost a lot now, man. So my pistachios gonna be even more now, man. 2.87 billion. Let's not deal with calves and cattle and calves. That's milk. That's where we're dealing with milk, ice cream, all that. But you also got your beef, right? And if you do veal, then your veal. That's the calves, right? Lettuce, strawberries, 2.28 billion, 1.99 billion, tomatoes 1 point, like we're dealing all billions with the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The top 8 items in California are in the billions. Gone. That's 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like 20 something billion gone? Poof, vamoose. Really? That's what we doing out on these streets. So you see what I see now, y'all? So when I show you the stock market, when I show you what's happening with the stock market, okay, we're going to have our produce and our food and the things that make up the production index go up because it has to go, right? If I'm producing goods, if it's going to cost me more to get that good, then it's going to, so inflation is going to go up more, right? So that means that y'all, with the actions of this alone, and we're doing this in real time now. I didn't plan, I don't do none of the planning stuff. I just kind of like plan my notes and then we'll search Google and we'll look at it together. This way it's in real time, y'all, so you can see how to do this, so you can be, fish for yourself. This is fish amongst yourselves. See how we do. But now, what does this mean third quarter, fourth quarter, right? When I come out of the blue and I make a post in the Discord or put it on Twitter and I say, hey, yo, I'm looking at third quarter, fourth quarter, and I don't look so good. Now you see why I say that, because this isn't something that's going to hurt me right now. Those raisins weren't going to go into the store tomorrow. They would still need to be grown and processed and then dried and right, the grapes. We have a lot more that needs to be done with them. Or the almonds to go into an ice cream with the cows. That's not there no more. So we're hold on. I'm sorry if it's making a bunch of noise. I'm trying to move my mic. We're in a sticky situation on economic levels. And remember, see all this money that they put into the system from the Fed account. This is the Fed economic data from St. Louis, the St. Louis Federal Reserve. And you can see our bank accounts are back to pre-pandemic levels. We're looking at, hold on, let me scroll this in. I mean, look, goes all the way back to the 60s. This is like 1959. Yeah, we got January 1959. We are lower than January 1959 as far as how much people, you can see the savings account just getting wiped out. People don't save anymore. They speculate. Hold on, I'm trying to stretch this. There we go. All right, so 2002. Look. Basically, the lowest we've been was 2005 July in bank accounts. And that was, what was that again? 2.1? Well, we are at 4.4. Which we got those numbers back in the last great financial collapse of 2008 through 2009. Right there on the charts. We're in that same zone. Like, our bank accounts are that empty. This is margin accounts. Look at how margin is falling. Margin accounts, that margin is your loans on the stock exchange. The interest rates go up, margin go down. Speculation go down. But let's see, this is first quarter. We still look like, wait. This is security brokers and margin accounts at broker dealers account levels. Y'all see this? These people still buy. These people still buying the dip out here. As of, this is still the first quarter of 2022. We'll have to see what it looks like, because this is a lagging indicator. It's way lagging. So we're dealing with quarterly data. So, and this is quarterly data as well. Fourth quarter. So they're really lagging behind. So as they tell us, again, our inflation rates are 8.4. If you go back to 1980, when they used the consumer inflation numbers, here's the base, and here's pretty much where we're at. Here's our official, if we use the 1990 numbers. And up here, like, I don't even know where this would be, because, you know, we got over 15% over here. But then, you know, you got, I don't know what the heck that is, 18, what? And they are no, as you see, we're the debt. This is what they did. They bought. This is 2020, right? March. This is when the Fed started buying up assets again. And then, because remember, we were rolling off. We were already on a roll off. They were trying to sell off stuff. And then they had to do something to fix the markets. This was before Pikachu Omarion, right? So that's before all of that. So y'all, don't let them fool you. Oh no. No, we were already on a downfall, y'all. The stock market was already, and they had to reverse course before all that. So now we're going back down here again. You see, they didn't really get too long. When did they start? They started in 2018. Started like January 2017, 2018, and they started rolling off. They got to 2019. They got a year in. And all right, so they almost got about a year and something in. So you see, we may have some time for this to shake out. You know, they've got plenty room for this potentially to fall. Remember, there's inverse ETFs. Study them. They're very volatile, but study them. If you believe, if you're looking at your data and you see your data and you're seeing the economy begin to fall, inverse ETFs, not fine, you know. I'm just saying, if something, every market, something go up, something go down. So I bet in January, the market's going down. Why? I'm watching my mom's assets and I'm like, well, that ain't gonna work because I still got to take care of my mom. And then I'm looking at the inverse ETFs after Jay Bravo said something to it about it. And I started studying and I was like, okay, I'm pulling the trigger. And I told y'all, and I did. And I showed y'all the screens. Do I have the screen in Discord? Hold on. Where's the screen for the inverse? Or do I still have it? Hold on. I may still have it. Hold on. I think if I put in the word hold on. Let me do in cash lane and put in shorts. This is my newest one. 610. Yep, that was the Beaver News one. The latest one. Yep, this is it. Let me open it, the original. So again, transparency. Today's loss, gain, and right now, this is the SQQQ. This is the S&P 500 triple short. And this is the Russell 2000 inverse ETF, the TZA. I put my money where my mouth is. I didn't put a lot into this. I mean, I put enough that it's doing nicely. I tell y'all I do my research, and what we are, Toxic Hustle for the most part is a R&D company masquerading as a media company. How I make my royalties was basically research. Me seeing, okay, which sites can I go on? Where can I upload my music so I can get the most amount of royalty streams? What does the business model look like? Can I not worry about them just having, if I pass on, is this a website that if something happens with my PayPal or something, does now all of a sudden my kin get no revenue of my royalties anymore? Maybe I need to make sure I'm with a company that can, take care of that. Or this is also something I can put into my memorandum is, as long as the masters are being held by my holding company, that means we have the uploads. So even if this company don't do right, and in the future another company can re-upload my assets for royalties. Meantime, between time, things like this, as the market's going down, I put my money in R&D and saying, look, I believe the market's going down. I don't think we're coming back up for quite a while, and I'm going to bet against it. Not because I'm wishing for its downfalls, because it's inevitable because of our spending. At some point in time, you're going to have to pay your bills. USA, we don't pay bills. We ain't paying our bills. We keep kicking the words they kept using that we didn't really understand, kicking the can down the road. Well, this is when the road stopped. We kept hearing that. They had to kick the can down the road for federal spending because they couldn't get no more money. So then they come up with magic money. We didn't get what we were already going into stagflationary. Look, since 2002, working for Citibank Private Bank, we used to use things called macros. So back then, I have been part of the people writing automation systems to be able to offload my workload. In doing so, there are more people doing that now, and it's become an industry. We call it workflow or process automation. It's become an industry because businesses like Flippy the robot that's been working Burger King. I think Burger King's getting Flippy too. Hold up. Flippy robot. Tell you, the food industry is ill. Local robot producer Flippy. So everybody's getting this Flippy robot. Flippy the robot in Dubai's fast food kitchen, frying up food. It's your fry chef. Then the SpaceX people making $8 pizzas because you ain't got no human hands. You can make this huge pizza because who's manufacturing? See, this is how they're going to fight inflation. Y'all been hearing this thing called Green New Deal, right? Y'all know what that is? That's called the Internet of Things. What they want is an electric system, a smart grid, and in doing so, well, guess what? Well, we're going to have a new deal, a green one. We need renewable energy. Ain't nobody planned for the stuff necessary for that. Well, I'm going to start looking at the stocks for all the stuff that they need. Silver, platinum, nickel, palladium, iron, copper. Oh, I said copper. Everything that makes, here, we'll go through it. What makes up what is the Okay, here you go. What is the material in an electric car battery? These are the stocks or commodities I'd be watching. Lithium, nickel, cobalt. If you remember correctly, I believe it was the nickel market that just had its entire thing. Nickel. Yeah, there we go. LME is facing a $500 million lawsuit over the nickel short squeeze. Y'all forgot that happened? Remember, nickel got so high that over in the United Kingdom, some people lost their money. They failed because they were speculating on it going down and suppressing the price, which they've been doing. Hint, 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 wink, wink. And they got, but it has to go into material now. It has to be used for stuff. We've got to get these batteries going. He got squeezed out. Well, guess what they did? They reversed the transactions, y'all. Imagine you're on the other side of the trade. You win. He lost. You're looking at your bank account. You're happy. You bet right. You won. Capitalism wins, right? Wrong. They shut down. They reversed the transactions. It's no different than Ethereum. So, y'all, it doesn't matter what ledgers we're on if the ledgers can be reversed. And what we need to find is a way to keep our ledgers from being like that. So they're not thinking about that. And then all the while, Flippy out here on these streets, taking some people to gerbs. Wing Zone. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, 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 hey. Did y'all see this? Oh, this is in real time, y'all. Miso Robotics. This is the people that make, I believe, Flippy. Yeah. They're going to Amazon Web Services. I told you these machines, these are Internet of Things, are going to be a part of a network. And soon, what happens if you can be a part of companies that want to franchise to roll these out and they give you portions of the transactions and revenue stream that you can invest with a company that's investing in the robots that goes into these restaurants and they're charging them service fees for offering manufacturing of their food products. Come on now. Y'all see it, right? Amazon being the backbone for the entire infrastructure for it. And then you just use a payment off ramp. Told you we're going into a world where it's the Internet of Things. Things will make money, not people. They don't need us anymore to make money. The industrial age is over a long time ago. Then we went into the communication age. The communication age won. We're done with it. We can communicate faster than we've ever been before and be everywhere in the world. You can be in a jungle now and use Tesla's whatever the heck and this Starlink and get internet service. So what does that mean? Everything is now online. They can now do anything. I could put a windmill wherever I want and it can send that data back, letting me know how much money I made over here. I can put robots in the fields and do things. We're going to talk about that too. That's coming up on my talk today anyway. Let's check these searches. All right. I want to show you something. Google Trends. Hold on. There we go. Trends.google.com. Trends.google.com. And what you're going to do is you're just going to put in the word layoffs. Let's make it plural. All right. So now you can see the related topics. So that tells you Robinhood layoffs. So layoffs 2022. What you're noticing is a spike. And they're saying that they're going to, what they're forecasting is a supreme spike up in people searching. Let's check the word unemployment. Slight tick up. Tick up. All right. So you see what I'm doing? This is what somebody's looking for. So these are the signals that if you came here, let's go, not the past 12 months, give us the past 5 years. There we go. Oh, no, go even further back. 2004 to present. Because then we have the 2008 financial situation, August. Ah, looky, looky. See what I'm saying? So now, do you think you can now use this to grade how bad things could be? February 2009 was the highest for the search term of unemployment benefits. Hold on. Let's correlate that to the stock market for a second. It's just in my head, you know? It's just in my head. Do I have that still open? Do I have market data still open? Is this market data? No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, so I did close it. Let us get, let's just use the S&P 500. That's a good overall. Let's see. A. Minimize, please. Then go backwards and put it on the weekly. And go back to... Whoosh, jeez. Let's close this out. Oops, sorry. Double click here. And then move you over. And let's go to monthly because there's just way too much data. All right. Oh, don't have to go back to 1998. Chill. All right, there we go. That'll give me a good roundabout, right? Roundabout. So let's now do something. Drag you out. For those on Windows, you can Alt-Tab and flip backwards and forwards. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you hear me doing all that, that's what I'm doing. All right, so here we are. Unemployment benefits, February 2009. 2007, 8, February. 2000. Holy crap. You see it, y'all? Hold on. Let's kind of zoom in tight to this because I want you to see something. Our spike in unemployment numbers, February 2009. The people were searching for unemployment benefits. February 2008. 2009, y'all. January. The height of it is the basic, almost height or depth of the stock market. Y'all see it right there. So are we there yet? Are we there yet? I don't know. I don't think so. This might be the start when you look at it like this. If we haven't hit this number, okay, hold on. Let's do this again. What's this? This is October 2009. Let's look at October, May. No, well, I mean, there's a little, but not by much. But this right here, then. So we hit this line. We finally hit it. That's going to be July 2010. Let's look at July, April, July. All right. So we're looking right here. Okay, yeah. We had a little dip in the market right there. June and then July. Okay. All right. Maybe. We'll see. Let's go for another one. This one touched. Which one is this? This is January 2014. Let's go to January 2014. No? I mean, you got a red day? You did have a red day that day. That's it. But the market was surging on, so not really. And then, yeah, that's the last one, right? January 2014. Yeah, so no. And then, of course, we know this date of infamy was April 2020. And if we drag it over here, April 2020. April would have been the bottom, but March, it spiked. There's March right there in the middle of it. And it did a huge jump. Yo, where did we see that? Well, no, it's not enough of a jump, but we did kind of see something. Hold on. If we look in the past, what was it? The past 30 days? No. It was the past 7 days? No. What's this? Hold on. Just hit unemployment benefits. Do it again. No. Past 7 days. No, that's not what it had. What was the original? Nickel. 12 months. Okay, that was the original. The original's 12 months. I don't see what I saw earlier, though. Oh, well. Oh, there it is. Layoffs. How layoffs jumped in 12 months. That's different. All right. So anyway, let us go move on. Let us move on. So that's how you can search for like executive layoffs. You can look at, also in the news. Hold on. That's what you can do. So like look at executive layoffs. This is not going to be for Google Trends. Another thing that you can do to kind of get a summary view of what's going on around you is just put your search term in, executive layoffs. Go ahead and click on your news tab in Google. And then you can see 5 days ago, Coinbase layoffs, signaling blah, blah, blah. That's not exactly what we're looking for. When you're doing here, you put the quotes around it. That makes it be specific that you're looking for that. WD stock is desperate to find the bottom. Executive layoffs. DC Comics VP flees company as, so DC Comics executive layoffs. This was January. So hold on, let's see if we got in. That's not that many results, but you are seeing, as of last year, executive layoffs starting to spike. And of course, you can use that for multiple terms. So one that's pretty big for me because of the industry I worked in is bank layoffs. How to serve 100,000. Wow. See, this is back in September. They were saying that they're going to be purging 100,000 banking jobs. But let's go ahead and hit tools instead of recent. Let's go ahead and do it for the past week. More Chinese investment banking layoffs. My AI is letting us know some things. Check that out. Let's check this out. This is what's going on in China. Remember, a lot of our investment money's over there. More Chinese investment banks. Are you not just really? More Chinese investment banks are reportedly cutting staff in Hong Kong amid purge of new listings, despite expectations for an improved second half. I'm going to mess this up. I apologize. Haotong International and Gaotai Junan International are the latest Chinese investment banks to reportedly reduce staff in Hong Kong. Remember, they're cutting back on a lot of things. There's things going on that's weird everywhere, but it's really weird there. With the latter having laid off several fixed income IPO principals earlier this month, according to Financial Times, report citing unnamed sources. China Merchants Bank International, which previously reported, cut at least 5 investment bankers, laid off about 10 staff in the last month. So again, you're seeing financial layoffs. Financial layoffs are pretty big because banks make money. And when they don't make money, they lay off people. Okay? So that's exactly what we're starting to begin to see now. Boom, boom, boom. Let's use this. I know y'all have seen this one. I know for a fact you've seen this one. Hold on. We're going to use the next one is going to be tech layoffs. Also during the past week. If y'all forget, tools, and then choose your timeline. Tech layoffs might ease IT hiring woes. Tech layoffs accelerate in June with more than 7,000 layoffs. Tech layoffs in private companies are putting employment equity in limbo. Yes, because you get laid off, and if you have 401ks, you're probably going to end up having to liquidate those to be able to keep yourself afloat once your unemployment goes out. Tech layoffs bloodbath continues as firms wield the axe. Yep, they're cutting. Over 180 tech companies have slashed more than 36,000 staff. Y'all, what growth are we going to have in the fourth quarter of this year if these people can't find another job? What if half of them can't find another job? Or that's another double, 10,000, 15,000 people, 15,000 up people that are not going to be consuming. Right? That's what this economy needs. Debt. We're in a debt-based economy. Debt is needed you have to take out loans to make this magic money poof out of thin air. So tech layoffs, which, the tech industry is pretty much your whole digital infrastructure. So if they're cutting back on infrastructure, you're going to have to pivot to what are the services you can do within the sectors. PayPal, that's a tech, and so it's like places like Coinbase and PayPal, they are tech plus their finance. So they're getting a double whammy, especially Coinbase because of the crypto holdings. That's like a triple whammy with the way some of those coins dropped by 80%. What the changing tech market means for California's economy, because a lot of people left California. So again, a lot of companies died. Like a lot of companies left California and they didn't reopen. They basically said, we're out, we're selling our tech, and we're closing shop. The same thing like in the music industry, how you're seeing people sell their catalog to get their revenue up front now. Now it's starting to make mad sense why people need it. But the thing is like, I hope that these people that sold off their catalog weren't just trying to pay their bills before this next wave of inflation hits. I hope that they when they sold their catalog, that they put their catalog, like that money that they got, that it didn't just go into the market, that they created some kind of product or service that or invested it into a company that they knew intimately, had a good a team behind it. We've got to get back to brass tacks, but if they just threw them, if they were just in debt and they sold their catalog just to keep themselves afloat, thinking that the economy was going to shake itself out, they're going to be this is going to be a rude wake up. And this is the big one, y'all. The big search term that you put in your search, and you keep an eye on this. Again, I'm showing you how you do this yourself, because I'm going to be real busy working on Thor. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. That's the ToxicHustle organizational runtime. That's the one that's going to be working all the back end. Real estate layoffs tell us about the housing market. This is 3 days ago. Again, I'm on the past week in Google, just looking at the news. Is Compass in trouble? 4 days ago, 450 wide company layoff. The Compass has burned more than $400 million in the last 15 months. These companies cannot hemorrhage cash in this economy like this. And as I told all my friends, and y'all have heard me say it over and over again, commuting to a computer is stupid. In this communication-filled economy, why in the hell are we commuting to a computer? It makes no sense. As a business owner, I own a business. right? So then I buy a building to host my business, to have a CEO come to this business to run it. Then I have to have an employee for that CEO to manage, right? So now I have a building with a CEO and then an employee in that building, both of which I now got to pay their mortgage or rent. I got to make sure I pay their electricity. I got to pay for their gas. I got to pay for their food enough for their family. All the while, understand, I'm paying for a building. I'm paying for my electricity. I'm paying for my insurance of it. I'm paying for my maintenance and grooming and, the lawns and all that and the watering. I'm paying for all. I basically got a house for my business and I got a house for these other two people that need to help manage my business. And I'm only doing 2 people. What if I have 100? Do you see the gross negligence of our capital? Our actual working capital is being used to commute to computers in the communication age. Do you see how LD these people are? For real. This is the business they run. Are you serious? This is business? How? Let's be Sephardic with this. Like, are you kidding me? There's no way that's a feasible business model that's sustainable. I have 100 people in my building or 50 people in my building, and we all come here, and all of my working capital is to keep this building going so that I can try to sell things. And most of those things now have to be digital. So we can't work that in the cloud anymore. Do you know what got project managers fired? Monday.com. Why do I need a project manager when I have my entire project as a CEO at my disposal to see it in real time? Do you know what's going to destroy companies like this? Coda.io. Because not only can I do what it do there, it hooks up to my APIs. I have data here that can go into any of my systems to do a lot of things. This is my database of databases outside of the sphere of the rest of my websites and my applications and my social media profiles that all need the same data from the same location to do its stuff. And I have that N8N robot that I showed y'all that can post to all my social media profiles, and or we can automate it with Microsoft Power Automate on the desktop. $40 a month that you write off in your taxes. Come on, man. This business has changed on all of us. It sucks. I was a graphic designer. I loved it, had fun in it. It was my favorite thing in the world. I could spend hours doing it, and as my aunt Cynthia says, if you're doing what you love, you don't care. You can just do it. Well, guess what? That's what I'm doing now as well. But at the same time, I'm looking at our economy and saying, y'all, I don't think we see this. And pardon me, Islanders, I know how you feel about this. I feel about it the same way as an Islander myself, and my family is. Tsunami. Right? What is a tsunami? A tsunami is something happened under the water. Something shifted that you didn't see, and it caused a ripple that hits the coastline hard. Well, guess what's coming? Something shifted in our debt markets. We have a liquidity issue. And that liquidity issue is not stopping. If you look at the bond markets, it's not stopping. And soon, just like it had before, they're going to reverse course. But first, we're going to have to feel some pain. But the problem is they don't have any more quote unquote tools in their disposal. They already got the interest rates down as low as they can go. And yeah, they're squeezing it quarter point here, quarter point here. They're doing it as fast as they can now because they know they got to pull the brake and pull it back down. But they're going to have to pull it back slower. But it's not going to stop it this time. Look, unless you give Timmy stimmies, this economy is kaputs. Because that is what propped up the market. The data proves that. And now we have no more capital to go back in the market. And look, our dollar's gotten stronger, which means we can't even rely on anybody outside the country to help us buy more assets. Nobody wants our assets. They're overpriced. Even major corporations have already pivoted to world funds, like the Vanguard World Fund, to go get outside money in markets that are not as hit hard or oversaturated. Everybody speculated here. And now we have our own empty buildings. They're functional, but they're empty. So we need to start doing stuff with these empty buildings. We got to come up with some new businesses. If we realize our agricultural's crap and the fact that we have droughts and all this other stuff, we need to start using these buildings, finding new ways to cool them, keep them to temp, find new ways to handle our insulation and come up with new, better insulation methodologies. And then we need to come up and start growing in these buildings. Right? There is a young man that I saw that basically he took aquaponics, and let me see if I can find it. It was like, hold on. I think I know where I might have had it. Hold on. Let me see if it's on what is it? I think it's on my flip board. Hold on. Because I'm not sure what accounts it's at. Flip. I hate that they keep logging me out though. Bash. I don't know if that's you there, Batman, but we're going to do it. All right, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right. And then let's do that one more time. So I can get my, magazines. Thank you. All right. And I think I had it under Strength of a Nation. Yes, sir. And here we go. Booyah. Don't tell me we ain't an industrious people. Come on now. Hartford's backyard farmer raises rabbits, chickens, tilapia, and fresh vegetables at home. He wants you to do it too. Come on, y'all. Don't tell me we can't do this. Backyard farmer, Preston Street. 50 plus tilapia and duckweed. A hydroponic system growing Swiss chard, tomatoes, cucumbers, and a coop with 17 chickens, 3 rabbits. Started 5 years ago when he and his daughter, Akila, hatched an egg as a part of a science project. 2 eggs, actually. And these systems, think about it, the runoff from the fish you can use for fertilizer. So there is ways to eat, y'all. We just got to be better than waiting on a handout. Like, we're too industrial for this. Come on. Where's Sephardic? Come on now. Stop that. So anyway, let's get back into it, right? So that's how you search for your information. Like, go to Google. This is what you do. Put the quotes and I have it in the description, in the YouTube description, all the information for all the keywords you can go through to put those searches in and see what jobs are being let go. Desktop automation and the workforce. I just talked about it. You know, the fact that I'm going to be using automation software and 8n.io. If y'all understand Zapier, you can low code, no code, but they've done better with how they can show you. So you have a webhook, rename some keys, do some stuff over here, go to Google Sheets. If something happens, do this, else do that. Visual programming, y'all. Pull in data, set up steps, save time every day. They got smart with how they market now. I tell you, this company is the WordPress of automation. I found WordPress at 2.5. I may not be able to invest in technologies with my money. I invest in the technologies with my time and learning if I think it could be functional for my business. Did I think WordPress was functional for my business? Heck yeah. I can get a server for $5, put WordPress on it, and I could have a website. I could buy a template from Template Forest, put it on the website, and it could be anything I wanted it to be. I could take on any client I wanted at any time and feel comfortable I could earn a living. I could charge $100 and up. Easy. For websites. That goes to PayPal, I swipe, I eat, right? Simple. Well, this is the next WordPress, but it's not WordPress. This is a new industry. We're not making websites anymore. We're making automated applications now. We're taking data. I told you this is the data age. This is the Internet of Things is coming. This is the age of data usage. And artificial intelligence is using data to make insights. Those insights right now are basically just runtimes. And what I'm building, Thor, the ToxicHustle organizational runtime, is a bunch of scripts talking together to get the logistics for a media company accomplished. Because I believe that all of it is systemic since it's all on a computer. So it should all be automated since they're all on APIs. And this connects to all APIs. This is the internet of data now. Data usage. How do you use data? Like I told y'all before, I can query a weather website and find out where is it raining and then make all my marketing for my advertisement pivot to those locations in real time. Because now my music could be playing where somebody could be sitting at home and actually listen to it. Or I can show you the entertainment you need to see scheduled on those times that it's raining and go heavy in your area for the stuff that I want you to see that has my content attached to it. Between this piece of software that automates all the cloud and some of your desktop, you can install this on a Windows machine and it can do stuff on your desktop. So it can automate your desktop. Microsoft, I keep an eye on Microsoft. I don't miss out no more. And when this goes down, y'all, I'm pivoting it over. I'm buying me some shares because of this. Microsoft Power Automate. Oh, jobs. Search may be read to recent activity. Oh, yeah, I was looking for jobs to show you that there were potential jobs out here for this. Power Automate, my Power Platform. Robotic Process Automation. Per user plan, $15 a month, y'all. And this is what it looks like. For the most part, right? Doing something, and then you have stuff that you're doing. So it can do a lot of, and it works on a desktop. So it can actually automate your desktop. You can create remote desktop operations from one location. I can automate a computer to do some type of physical process on a machine, spit out a result, and send it back to me. I.e., I can place this on a laptop and have my laptop do some automated processing physical tasks. Open Photoshop, do this, do that, do this, render this, exit this. Automate After Effects videos if I need to. There's ways to do it. So I can create media for my clients that's more customizable. These are the things we've got to do now. How are you? Like I told you last video, make money for other people. Help other businesses make money. There's going to be plenty of businesses that fail because they have no help. That's where we need to step in. That's the job of a marketer. Is to make sure that the client that you represent gets representation in the public space, and the market makes the decision if they want what that business has to offer. Now, through this entire situation, as the market crashes, as people go, lose jobs, there's a lot of denial that I see of where our market conditions are. Believe me, I've talked to family, and I'll tell them, hey, I saw this in 2007, 2008 before it happened. I saw it in like 2004 when I left the bank. It was getting tight. I left because of what I saw, and it seems to be happening again. The Google searches are happening. Do you think they're listening to me? I told you the reason why I started these videos last year was so that you could go back in time and see all the things I told you pretty much have been lining the heck up. Not because I'm smart, it's just because I'm spending a lot of time just studying. I see something just the same way I saw the internet. I see this. Blockchain is ill. It's just mad early. We're getting ready to do low code, no code. That is the next revolution first, because it's functional for businesses who need to automate. So if you're looking for an industry, robotic process automation is pretty much a job title. And I think you make some good salary with it. Let's check. Hold on. Robotic process automation. Oh, and you got to put in the word salary. Okay. The average robotic process automation salary in the USA is $105,000 per year, or $53.83 per hour. Y'all, $30 an hour is $60,000 a year, roundabout. Now, my hustle has always been, and I told you, I barely graduated high school. I got into the bank using web design. I got into a graphic duplications doing print press using Photoshop. I started being a web developer when I started learning PHP and MySQL databases and coding languages. Robotic process automation is an industry into itself. It's going to have many tools that come out, but the one I found is pretty much the top one, because as of last year, some of the companies I talked to for my client that was making millions of dollars, well, that client, they were talking, because I threw his name in the ring, they were immediately talking $15,000, $20,000 a month for this software. You see, they couldn't even do a fraction of what this software does. And I laughed. I was like, okay, no problem. Y'all are going to shut down. They didn't say it to them, but they're going to shut down. Anybody that's trying to charge way too much money for technology that shouldn't be that expensive. But I've been trying to tell family, friends, hey, this economy is kind of shaky for years. Denial. And now, as the economy is tightening up and people are losing their jobs, and it's harder and the inflation is harder, you're starting to see the anger. But bellies are about to go hungry, and they have been going hungry. Teachers are working, our teachers are working in these school systems, and some of them are living in their cars. I need that to sink in your head right now. They are taking care of your children, and they are sleeping in a car. This is where we're at, y'all. This is how messed up this situation is. And that's going to lead to depression. And I can't say the S word, but you know, when people take their energy and they take it in their own hands to no longer be here with us. I've been like, there's people who have lost money in the last, there's 15 that have done that in the last month and change. That I've been notified about. Because of these markets. One big one in particular, which is this whole Terra Luna situation. I don't believe in those other stable coins. Like I told y'all last year, I only messing with USDC. I don't mess around with a bunch of weirdo altcoins in crypto winter. What's your mental health like? How do you deal with that when you're depressed because you're broke and you can't get a job? Right? And then it's like you're underqualified if you come out of school and there's nothing for you, which, I mean, they lie. Same way they told me when I went into the military, when you come out, you'll find a job. I had no hireable skills. I was a data entry clerk for the most part. I worked in a warehouse. I took inventory. Well, guess what? Yeah, I can get a job. Working in a factory, working in a warehouse. Or you can get a security job, all right? Because military. So that's what I did. I took a security job and I sat in the cold room of the loading dock of Caldor. And I opened up a PC Bible and learned how to build a PC. Because it's like Lego bricks. Because I said, I'm going to do nigga layaway. I'm going to be like, yo, instead of giving 1,000, 15, and I know some people are going to be mad at that, but no, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put, instead of putting $1,500 for a subpar computer with subpar parts, I can take that same $1,500 and the parts I buy, when you do the appraisal for what the parts were, I actually had built a machine that was closer to 50 grand. Because I had maxed out the memory. It didn't cost me no extra labor to put it in. I was able to get the video card I want. These are things that when you went to the website, and what I would do is I would price it out. Go find a dope website, find all the parts on it, like Hewlett Packard or whatever, spec it out and price out my machine with their machine. And my machine would come out like being like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. What I did was I had to learn. I had to change. And when you're depressed, you can just be stuck in that depression forever. But depression doesn't change the fact that everything's changing around you. Like, look, it sucks. This sucks. And I've been into the place, I was so damn depressed because I lost my way. Because I was like, yo, I was a web developer for 15 years. And it's gone. Like your entire identity, your business, your job, you're like gone, ripped out of you. Pivoting everywhere, trying to find some type of balancement. Because I'm now trapped in 2016 in a gig economy. In 2016, I hit the gig economy. Guess where we're still at? Welcome, everyone, to the gig economy. Sucks, don't it? A race to the bottom, $5. Do you know what you have to do now? Outsource it. Do you know what you have to do? Service. Do you know what you have to do? Talk to clients in your local area and get work done. Even if you don't want to do After Effects yourself, it doesn't mean that you can't get somebody out here to do the video for you. It's called arbitrage. Use it. Be the middleman. Get their commercials done. You got to create your economies. You can't wait for your economies to scale on their own. Lord knows I'm not waiting on it. I'd be waiting forever for a record label to believe in my music. I believe in it enough for me. Just like I believe in my girl for her business. But I believe in it enough for me to be like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing right now because I'm already getting my royalties. And now I know how to invest my royalties. I've already flipped my royalties on top of itself a couple times. Using my trading strategies. Or using really Johnny Bravo's trading strategies now. But with my sentiment analysis, my sentiment training that I showed y'all on YouTube for free. Sentiment charting. For free. Use that. Know your monthly lines. Know your weekly lines. Know where you are in the macro. Where's the Fed at? Is the Fed pulling money back? If they are pulling money back, that means stocks are going to fall. If they're easing, so if you hear tightening, get ready. The faucet's over. Think about a faucet. They're pouring gasoline on the fire. Right? So think of it. All you're doing is watching the Fed until this system breaks, because you know it's going to, unfortunately. And that's why I tell y'all, make sure you handle your economies. You know what it's about. It's about energy. Well, how do you store it? You don't have to store it their way. We have other ways to store energy now. And there's always, you know, my favorite, hydrogen. That's energy stored. We just need some hydrogen generators, you know. It's hold on. Hey, hydrogen generators. Hey. $5,000. But the thing is how many amps? How many amps does this get? Because, you know, it's all about them amps. It ain't about the watts. It's about them amps. Support up to 0.8 amps per hydrogen fuel output. Maximum for dry cell. Dry cell. Hydrogen dry cells. So you see, YouTube shows you a lot of stuff, right? Y'all get that? Okay, I just want y'all to see. So no excuses, right? All right, I want to move on because I want to get us, we got to keep going. Learn, then execute, test, then evaluate your results. No, we're going to go, keeping an eye on artificial intelligence, small business grade robotics. We did that, Flippy the Robot, open source robotic farming. Y'all, like I said, with that other guy I showed you who was doing the robot farm, it ain't over. Hold on. Open source robotic farm. Farmbot. Watch the video. Let's watch it together. Hold on.
The current food production system is broken. Individuals, families, and communities no longer have control over how their food is being produced, and as a result, our health and the environment.
Oh, they're going spooky with it. All right.
Let's take back control.
Take it.
Farmbot is humanity's open source CNC farming machine that automatically grows food for you right in your backyard, keeping you in complete control. Farmbot precisely sows seeds in any pattern you want and then waters each plant based on its type, age, soil conditions, and more.
You know this is low power, right?
Using the onboard camera and advanced computer vision, Farmbot can scan your garden to detect weeds and then take action immediately.
There we go. Organic, right? If I just drill it back into the ground?
From any phone, tablet, or computer. No coding is required.
No code.
Using
Low code, no code, y'all.
Lay
Come
out
on
your
now.
plants like a video game. And with built-in data for common garden veggies, you'll be guided through creating an optimal layout each season.
Come
Our
on now.
custom sequence editor offers a no-code programming environment
Come
that
on.
anyone can use, even young and non-technical users, to program their device
Y'all
to
ready?
take care of plants just the way you want. And with support for variables and traditional programming logic, power users can explore complete freedom and control. We've gone to great lengths.
All right, this is a 5-minute video. So let's just skip through. Looks good. Got some good. I mean, look at this. Different sensors. Telling you.
NASA is looking into how far.
Let's put this on speed. Playback speed. Let's double speed. And take off closed captions. I don't need that. All right. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, wow. Trim back bushes. All right. So indoor farming, y'all. And it's open source. They got a shop, drivetrain, the extrusion. So again, they give you the tools to do it yourself. Extrusion, 230 to 380. Raspberry Pi. Or, Farmduino. Okay. They've got their own thing. So yeah, they've got their own thing. That's not bad. $275 for it. Not bad at all. For the board itself. Shoot. Huh. I gotta see how much the entire package is. Research, accessibility. Okay, here we go. Farm Genesis Express. Let's look at the Genesis. How much? Order now. Pre-order. Okay, so they ain't got this yet. Okay, so what's the other one? Hold on. There we go. Express. Is this out yet? Order now. Okay. Let's try this one. Okay, $1,000. Pre-order. I'll keep an eye on this. I'm not investing in any startups like that yet. And this one, page not found. See what I'm talking about? Sure, I'm talking about. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'll wait on this. But again, these are the things I keep an eye on. You just keep an eye on them, see how they pan out, how they play out. But there's plenty of that. So we talk about the energy, right? So let's do energy. Let us do what we would do for energy, right? So let's look at boom, 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 boom. Water turbine. I installed a power plant myself. That's a solar system. Cheapest energy storage off grid. Using a car alternator with a bike to power my home. Do-it-yourself wind turbine. Bike generator. Do-it-yourself experiment. Let's see. Do-it-yourself. What if you're going... Okay, so what we're dealing with is energy, right? So what you can do is... What would you do with an engine if you had a car engine, right? And you knew you could run your car engine off of an alternative fuel source. What could you get that engine to potentially do with the mechanics? Okay, now what if you didn't have to run that engine on gasoline? So could you then run that engine on, say, engine... Okay. Car engine, use waste oil, cooking oil as diesel fuel. So get a diesel engine, and you can run a diesel engine on cooking oil. Biodiesel. You can make biodiesel at home. Right? Okay, there's energy right there. It can turn a turbine, right? So how do you make energy? And how is energy made? A turbine turns a magnet, and a magnet generates electricity or whatever, and there you go, right? Some form of magnetism and turning of a turbine. So you just got to use something that has an energy source that can turn a turbine. So as long as you can turn a turbine, some fuel source should turn the turbine. We can use that for hydrogen. We can use that with gasoline. We could use that with water, right? Steam power. Right, we can create steam power and use steam power to turn something and generate electricity. Vegetable oil. All right, that's one. Then you've got vegetable oil. DIY. Boom, 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 boom. Give me 1 second. Oops. Duplicate. Boom, 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 boom. Water to fuel converter. Water is fuel. Simple H2O, HHO2 generator under $5. And I'd be looking for, because I know there was silver or something like that is used in the creation of it. So I would try to find out, like, because again, that's another energy source. All right, so then another one, right? Another one. Bum, bum, bum. Methane turbine or methane engine? Methane farm. Hold on. Here we go. Let's go to the news. Here, this is back from 2020. Farmers and utilities are burning methane for energy and curtailing powerful greenhouse gases in the process, turning manure into money. So I just showed you that we've still got to figure out the electrolysis with hydrogen. So that's a fuel source, and we can make hydrogen. Then we have methane, which is poop. We have plenty of things pooping on the planet. Sheep poop, duck poop. We got plenty of poop on the planet to make methane, and they're using it to make energy. And since humans seem to be the problem, then maybe since we are no different than the cows, that maybe we could turn our stuff into methane and turn plenty turbines. So I don't know. I think there's energy abundant. Then we still got wind walls, right? This new thing that's going down. Wind walls. And they're not expensive. Wind walls. Right? So you've got these things coming. See? They may not generate a ton of power, but these can all add something to the grid or to your internal business. I can have this like it look like a corporate building. So I can have multitudes of these. Right? And then you also have different kind of ways to turn something that can get energy. As long as you're turning a turbine, right? So we just got to think differently now. That's the thing. We say, okay, well, the government's going to do something. What they're going to do? They can't educate us out of anything. They can't tell us what the new is. They're not even pivoting to their new right now. Like, what do they need to do? They want to get into this whole electric car revolution, but we don't got enough minerals for that. So what are we going to burn? And then with this whole, thing going on the other side of the world with the whole, another damn country that went to a whole, another country, and now wheat's like getting more expensive, but it's not their fault. We are having crop issues and have been having crop issues for many, many moons. But, come on, man. Come on, man. It's Putin. What we have to do now, learn. Then execute on whatever it is you see as a path with the dots you've collected. It's like connect the dots. You've got to use a whole bunch of dots to then get a picture of the overall view. My picture is like an economy in like after a nuclear has exploded. Like this, boom, and now all of a sudden the entire economy's to crap. How do you pivot from that? Well, everything in your analog has changed. Everything has gone into a digital direction. They are now moving to a central bank dollar coin. There's still going to be a digital dollar, which will be probably USDC. Of course, yes, there's Bitcoin because it'll be the standard deviation. So that's like the digital gold, and USD will be the digital dollar. And then you'll have the governmental funds, which will be like, getting your food stamps. And then you'll have what they'll call a basic living expense. That's but that money, they will tell you what you can do with it. You're not gonna be able to overbuy. You got to make your own guap. Like literally, this is a great reset, and it sucks. But this great reset is to wipe out the debts that they have bet on. Like everybody in the planet has been betting on the stock market will only go up. And that the Fed, don't fight the Fed. The Fed's always going to come in and rush in and save us until they can. So once you learn, you execute, you have to test it. Fail fast. If it doesn't work out, move on to the next thing. But don't just quit just to quit. Make sure that there's fundamental flaws in your logic. A perfect example of that was I was working with a client. I believed that he believed that artificial intelligence was going to his software was going to revolutionize websites. I believed that his software was going to be antiquated really fast, but I thought it was going to take I thought it was going to take another 5 years for it to happen. It happened in 2 more years. I was wrong to the upside of a transition that was changing faster than I expected in a field I should know innately. So you have to test, fail fast, and if it works out, then evaluate your results. If your results are good, I won't say double down, but begin to try to scale it. Then see if it's scalable. I try to factor in scalability to my business model, where For me, it's not me building something for me, one person. It's me building something for me and one more person that act in accordance similar to each other. So I am a media company. Can I franchise something similar where this person's working exactly like me and I can now take their assets because they work just like me. They send me a link to their assets that they have like on YouTube or whatever, or we can collect it. And then I can just utilize their content that gets them utility in the stuff that I'm using for my clientele. And then they can now earn their royalties. See what I'm saying? So we have to think outside the box. We're going into a world where millions of plays equal thousands of dollars. And we have to get to the millions of plays, not the hundreds of plays. You can't just think that you're going to have a blow off top. No, you're not. And it's going to be a long grind. And that's why I'm transparent with what I'm doing, which is part of the Toxic Hustle Pro intellectual property utility system I'm working on. I'm doing a hackathon this week, which is why I'm doing the video today. And it's a little longer than usual. Well, probably the same. But the reason why I'm doing it is I want y'all to know that like this week, I know the market's going to act crazy this week. It's going to be spiking up, spiking down. I'm not going to be around for it because what I'm doing is eating my own dog food, which is called the things I tell you, I'm working as if like, hey, I'm doing this because I know all of the stuff we're talking about. This is coming. So I'm over here working on this, which is I need to have a system to help clients to market products. And I'm going to take that, market their products, and in that market my products. And in that, I have a business model that my royalties for my intellectual products are pumping. I'm able to sit there and use those assets to help my clients with media assets like video to make their commercials or their explainer videos or something for their some type of training video for their website. I can do audio editing, mixing, mastering. There's plenty of services. I could look, you could sit there and grunt out and sit there and say, you know what, $25 a mix. I know it's whack and it's crazy, but if I use isotope ozone, is that a horrible thing? If I'm hungry, I want you to understand a hungry belly, not, hey, I still can pay my bills. Hey, I still got some money in my bank account. No, it's like, hey, I'm hungry and I need to eat today. Well, this is what I did in 2006. Yes. 2007 to survive. I went to MySpace, and at MySpace, I created MySpace layouts for MCs and singers and entertainers, and those MySpace layouts I designed for $50 a pop. I would be on a hunger mission sometimes and say, hey, $25 sale. And then it goes right to my business PayPal account. And my business PayPal account had a debit card, and I could go swipe at the store and get more rice and beans that could last me for weeks. And hey, I'm going to splurge on maybe a slice of pizza, a pan pizza, or maybe some Church's chicken because it was right down the street. And I could walk to it. Get me a biscuit and some honey. Right? So what I'm doing now is building an intellectual property system that I can take my media and get it distributed as much as possible and do it in such a way that if somebody else is using CD Baby and has the same places where their stuff is going to go, they'll reap a benefit from me just helping them broadcast their stuff. I don't have to get your royalties. I'm not trying to get into your pocket. You can have all of your royalties to yourself. Why do I need to be in there? Why should any quote unquote label get you there? Guys, what does a label do? Help you make albums. Can you make them yourself now? You're not pressing any wax or using any DATs or mixing to any tapes unless that's your thing. So all of that technical hardware, all of that stuff, those big buildings gone. Those big studios, a lot of those gone. The ones I remember in New York, gone. Went to the house. FL Studio, bang. Okay. Studio One, bang. Pro Tools, bang. Logic, bang. Ableton, bang. Right? So now you can make your own property. Now you're earning your royalties already. The only thing left is what? They get you radio airplay, right? That's ears. You're already on Spotify if you're on CD Baby. You're already on YouTube if you're on CD Baby. And not only do you get ears, you get eyes as well. So if you put your stuff on YouTube and you put, say, a video out that did, had some kind of fancy stuff going on or whatever, and made like a little video for yourself, you could sit there and put that out and get more royalties and revenue on your own stuff. There's your eyeballs and your visibility. If you want to make a music video, do what I told y'all I'm doing. When I tell you learn. Once I get financially situated with the rest of the capital that I'm working this year on my own, I'm not using the subscriptions to do this. I'm going to lock in through all the trades I've done and everything else, my salary already. And once I have my year's expenses taken care of, which will be probably soon, then I can take some time and learn Unreal Engine. And then when I'm in Unreal Engine, again, tools, and I'm just going to show you the time from the last, say, month. And again, you don't think I'm going to go crazy making the kind of music videos I want to make? But not music videos where I'm an actual person in it. No, I can sit there and create my own characters. And those characters can be motion captured. And those characters can use facial recognition. And I can use my own face and puppet them. This is 3D puppetry, y'all. And I don't do it inside Unreal. I do it in the program I showed y'all. That is available for purchase. Real Illusion, you got iClone, you got Character Creator, Motion Capture 3D, Motion Capture 2D. Photo to 3D face. You take a photo, you can put it on a 3D face. Digital Human Solutions. Motion 3D in real time, like I've showed you before. I want to make sure it's on mute. Yes. Set on double speed. Playlist. Yeah. Right? So motion caption suits, which are cheaper now. Hand puppetry. See? So all of this, how we make media is changing. So if you're able to now be an animator, like there's millions, like think about this, how many jobs are gone for animators with things like this? Before, this was done by hand. This is why I was like, no, I ain't doing that. Because 3D modeling is a pain. Now 3D, like you would get paid to do 3D models. You got paid tens of thousands of dollars to be a 3D modeler, to model human beings. Now you got a whole piece of software that just spits them out. Export them right into Unreal with all their animations and everything. Put them in the scene you want. Right? Put them in whatever scenes you want and render them in your solution. Then you export the MP4, upload it to YouTube, and you have a music video. Computers used to be people. Yeah, well, yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Back in the 1950s, the human computers. There you go. There was our human computers, ladies. You were our computers. These were the ladies that helped them run the women of NASA, running all their missions. until they got outsourced. This happened already, y'all. This is the first outsourcing. First major outsourcing. The first loss of jobs to automation. Major loss of jobs to automation. Computers were in not just NASA. Computers were in these computers. Humans were everywhere, working everywhere. Well, that went bye-bye. And that's going to keep going bye-bye. So these businesses that we're creating, we're only creating media businesses at this point, y'all. You're taking assets, intellectual property, you're doing your puppetry to them, adding into your thing. Like, think about commercials, man. Think about the commercials on television. You don't think you can do car commercials now? You don't think you can do a commercial for some company app? There's plenty of explainer videos. There's trailers that could be made. There's you can even use this as a prototype. Like, you can create an entire YouTube channel that just shows your experiments of what you're doing inside Unreal. And you could just use it to get a job. But you would be so more efficient in that business than everybody else around you still doing it the old way. Like the people that used to do websites. I remember when I first got when the transition into like using tools to do code started happening. And I remember my ex at the time was that could write HTML inside and out. And I was using Dreamweaver. Then I got a job real fast and she got pissed because she was like, yo, but you're not a real coder. And I was like, well, I'm making real more money than you are. So evidently the bank thinks I'm a real coder. Evidently the tool gave me an edge over you in the marketplace. I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but I'm like, yo, don't tell me that what I'm doing isn't as important as you. You still think physical labor matters. My dad always told me, use your head for more than a hat rack. Think smarter, not harder. Measure twice, cut once. That's the law of masonry, of real masonry, where you cut things and do things, not be bobo heads in lodges. That ain't fixing economies of scale anymore. And my family's in there, so best believe. I'll be poking them, and especially their rings. I'll be poking them like, really? Where's our economy, sir? What is our economy, y'all? The gross domestic product, and I've been saying this to everyone that'll ever listen since 2010. The gross domestic product of every nation in the world is going to be media, video, and audio. Because it's so easy to make, everybody's going to have to make it, and that is going to be the economy because the robots will make everything else. Do you know I have an idea for robotics that I can't talk about, but it's really dope. But it's so ill that I will destroy an entire industry. And I could probably use the same robots that Elon and Amazon are using that you can get. I'll give you this. Hold on. I'm going to show you which robots I think I can do it with. Check this out. Go to Alibaba. Right? I showed you the robots at Alibaba. I think one of them, I'm not going to buy it from there, but I'm just saying that's the price point. Because you know they have low code, no code software for this now. Okay, so you see that is 4,900. That can't be right because that must be small. That can't be the price. That's got to be like what's the weight on that? Application forging. This is load. Welding. Or other. Damn, those things look big. Is it? Did it tell you weight? Weight. 2,000 pounds. Okay, yep, that is definitely not tiny.
Dongguan Oka Automation Equipment
Wow, Donga. 17,500 for that. So that's 4,500. That's 1,000 for you right there. That's 3,000 right there. And I'm pretty sure if I go to eBay and look for robot arms, and I put robots arms and make it for there's one thing I gotta check. North America only. That way we see only ones that are here. 4,000. Ooh, that's so expensive. 3,500 for a 6-axis bot. 3,500. Oh shoot, one of those Rethink Robotics trainer robots, 14 grand. I think the company went out of business. But I think they're still programmable or repairable. Yeah, so yeah, there's a bunch of robots. $2,000 Funk robot arm. So like I said, in a minute, y'all, as these keep going down in prices, like, please understand, these things, back in the day, these things, like, you couldn't even do this. Been LNC automating audio engineering for like 4 years. Good-ish, immersive. Heck yeah. Automate everything. Like, we have to now. It's about productivity. Like, this is the thing. We have to understand, as a nation, it's about our energy. And what this nation has forgotten is that your work is your energy. And we have not put out no work. Like, we ain't put out no goods. And we gave it all up. So now all of a sudden it's like these sucker ducks are now stuck because they ain't got nothing flavor for nobody. They ain't got no flavor for the ear, no flavor for the soul. So now what do we got to do? We've got to sit there and it's time to pop our collar again. Y'all know how we do it. Remember the Dark Ages? But we just can't go crazy like that because remember Deuteronomy. Pops is cool with the smackdown. I'm cool with the smackdown, Pops. Like, we just got to be right this time. We can't be out here slaving it like last time. Running out doing all these crazy harem type beats. Nah, we got to be vigilant about our adversary. So, at the end of all of this, it's about what you have for an economy. Products, services, your intellectual property for residuals and your royalty, utility of your intellectual property. Right? I gave you a strategy for it. Go to CD Baby, upload your music. You now basically have terra firma. I'm still getting money in Korea. Even though I used to get it in China. I get it with TikTok, but they moved their servers to Oracle now, so we'll be still good. Because, TikTok's a China company. So, you know. People keep getting kind of weirdo. Getting kind of mad. But we just got to understand these royalties are coming from everywhere. I get royalties from Germany. We get royalties from Amazon. I get royalties from Google Play. Not as much. But the major locations is Spotify. YouTube is your number one right now. 2022, 2023 is your YouTube plays. You should be getting all of your YouTube plays. Again, CD Baby will do all of them. You ain't got to pay no extra for that crap. It gets all in there. So just make sure you get your stuff ready, get it out there, get it prepared, because then you can create the channels you need to get utility out of your own stuff. And you got your eyes in your ear. There's your eyeballs in your ears right there. You don't need a radio station. Then it's utility for distribution. That's what Michael Jackson had figured out when he bought the Beatles catalog. And he sold it and he licensed it to Nike for their "You Ain't on a Revolution." son campaigned for them sneakers. And Paul McCartney was type peeved at that. And he had kind of told Michael that was his hustle. And he was trying to get his catalog back. And Michael jumped the cuff on him. He was like, oh, don't take it personal. It's just business, Paul. Cold, man. So just understand, man, you're gonna have to, in this landscape, we have to be our own economic stimulus plan, because the one that they're coming out with, that central world government type beats, that one you're not gonna be able to be fruitful and multiply. You know that. Because you're reliant, yet again, something, there's no economy. That little bit you get ain't gonna keep up with inflation. And they can't print their way out of this one. We got to manufacture something. And the world, all we got is ourselves. And whether or not we're entertaining enough to keep ourselves like I'm going to pay you to keep dancing. I'm going to pay you to keep singing. I'm going to pay you to still tell me what the weather is every damn day. Or, hey, I'm going to pay you to develop some technology that can get our farming right. Hey, let me pay you to start working over here. See, as we are looking at crypto, don't look at crypto as a cryptocurrency. Look at this as early startup venture capital. What is the company doing? Do they have a coin? Is that being done to create a service or a product or a subscription or royalty or something that's going to be, it can't be, it makes money on its own from what? But it just makes money on its own. Yeah, but from what? It does that to the moon, bruh. No, bro, like it doesn't make anything. I don't want to make a cryptocurrency. No, I'm making a business that just happens to just do digital money for now. In maybe a year or two, if I decide that I want to use USDC as a payment option, bang, I can send it to your wallet. But until the government gives me more clear headspace of how I can use this thing other than the way I want to use it, without all these extra things for how I use it when I trade it and all the other stuff, that's weirdo stuff. Like I need more concise usage. I need it to act more like cash than act like a commodity. I need it to act like money, and maybe I have to do it with USDC. So, but then you gotta have to change USDC and make it act like cash completely. So until they do that, you're going to have to figure this out on your own. And how you do that, train into anything dealing with media creation, especially video and gaming. Like somebody's going to look, there's always going to be somebody gaming, y'all. There's going to be people that can sit on their ass all day and just play games. There's people remember, there's a whole new industry in the sports gaming arena. So we're going to be sitting on our butts, and those are going to be the sports players. And as the industry grows and grows, because there is no physical labor we can do unless you're a guy writing code for AI to write its own code, you're not going to have a job in the next 5 years, because they want AI specialists to help write AI that can write its own code. And part of it's too late. It's already here. If you go to GitHub has an AI that is currently writing code. GitHub, which is the largest, it's owned by Microsoft now, and it's what is the largest coding repository. In the news, Copilot, GitHub's AI-powered coding tool, will be free for students. Auto completes your code. Programming aids are increasingly becoming supercharged by AI. So with all the code, with everything that GitHub has, see, people don't understand data. GitHub has all of the data for how codes and bugs have been fixed and all this other stuff. So now the AI has all of how everything was fixed, what bugs were hatched and everything. It's read all of it. And now it can try to protect you from yourself. Hey, you're writing this wrong. You should write it like this, or I'll just write it like this. In the future, you're going to say, I want a site to look like Google. And it should do this, 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 and this. And also add this, 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 and this. And I want a feature on the site that does this, this, this. Put the button in the upper right-hand corner. And it just does it. That's coming, y'all. It's already partially here. I've already seen some of the tech for that. So just get ready, because if coders are getting usurped by automation, then who the hell is left? Because all the blue collar jobs is gone, and the last of our vestige of our technician and our technocracy is our developers. The thing that we've been living on for the last X amount of years through this entire digital revolution, the entire Silicon Valley experience has been about developers. People, our entire way of life has been based off developers that we are now subjugating to extinction. I need that to settle in. What do we have left? I'll wait. And you think we're going into a good economy? We weren't going into a good economy before Rona. I think we're going into one afterwards. Come on, man. Be your own central bank, because they ain't got nothing for you. Start figuring out your services and your products, because they ain't got nothing for you. Thankfully, Visa and MasterCard don't give a damn how they feel, because they're a lobbyist unto themselves. And so they've made sure to position themselves so that you got Web 2 and you got Web 3. Web 3 is your wallet, but they still going to give you a wallet so that you can sit there and swipe a debit card. That's Coinbase, that's FTX, that's Gemini. Those are all in the United States. So get prepared, y'all. Swipe, that's you earn through services and products. Build out your residuals through for your intellectual your property by building out your catalog, and getting your utility by using it to promote other videos or do something with it. Do something and utilize your assets. They're yours. And remember, if you need a loan in the future, when the next run up comes up, that's 5 times earning. Y'all be safe out on these streets. And I'm going to holler at you maybe on Friday. We'll see how it is, because that's also a busy day. But I'll definitely see you next, not this Monday coming up, but the next Monday after that. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a blessed day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And y'all be easy.